that is described with an attribute of Akbar cannot be God.
Cannot be God, definitely.
Why?
Because He is, you can say it's greatest.
Hmm?
There should be something greater than greatest.
Greater than greater.
Yeah.
Right. And even greatest.
Yeah, greater than greatest, yeah.
Right. But this is not even greatest, this is greater.
Greater, yeah.
They're translating it as greatest.
Greatest, yeah.
But it's greater.
Greater, yeah.
You see, greater.
Greater, yeah.
Meaning less greater.
Yeah.
No, it's like it's not
yeah.
it's not,
the greatest.
It's
not
the
the greatest.
It's not
perfect.
Yeah,
It's not the great. It's not perfect. It's not even the greatest.
the toppest of top. You
You see?
Yeah.
You see here. You have a verb. Ka, ba, ra. You see? That's the verb. The adjective is kabir.
Kabir, yeah.
You see? The comparative
It's big,
is akbar.
bigger.
The superlative
Akbar.
is al akbar.
Al Akbar.
The perfect
Bigger.
is al kabir.
Bigger, biggest.
You see?
And
Look, the verb is kabar. Kabara, to be big. The adjective that comes from the verb is kabir. The comparative form of kabir is akbar, meaning bigger.
Bigger,
That means
yeah.
er.
okay.
That means er. The superlative is est, biggest. And the perfect is al kabir. That has no thing. Now each one of these is going to be in the Quran, so Allah knows how to use them. You see? So the verb is kabara, the verb. The adjective is kabir. The comparative form is akbar.
Akbar, yeah.
The superlative is al akbar. And the perfect is al kabir.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should be Al Kabir instead of Allahu Akbar. It should be
Bingo.
Allahu Al Kabir.
Bingo. There you go. Now we're going to see how it is. We're going to see if that's what the truth is. If that's what it should be, the Quran should tell us that. Now, so you disgrace Allah by saying Akbar because you didn't even say Al Akbar.
Because you are
Keeping them still down below.
yeah.
If you say, well, Allah is Akbar, I can say, well, my God is Al Akbar. Bigger than yours now.
That means they themselves they don't understand the language perfect
Right.
Arabic and they are just
My God is Al Akbar. You see? Your God is just Akbar. Mine is Al Akbar. And then the Muslim the believer really comes in, well, Allah is Al Kabir.
Allah Al
Boom.
Kabir.
It takes all of it out of place. Now look. So now let's
Understand?
Nice,
Understand a little bit, huh?
That's the wait.
Yeah.
This is the grammatical, yeah. It's a grammatical
Okay.
reference.
Now. Let's see.
Mang million to like compra.
Let's take a look at 9-3.
Yeah. Say people that I'm fasting. Okay.
Exactly 9.
Chapter 9 verse?
3. Chapter 9, verse 3.
Quran sheet
They're not talking outside the Quran. And an announcement from Allah and His Messenger to the people on the day of the greater pilgrimage.
What's the Arabic word for greater pilgrimage?
Okay.
For greater.
Yawm al-Haji.
No. For greater.
Greater, what is it? Al-Akbari.
Oh, look at that.
Al-Hajil Al-Akbari.
Al Akbar.
Yeah.
You see that's different than Akbar.
And Al-Akbar.
That's Al Akbar. That's the
Yes.
definite. That's the superlative. That's the greatest.
Greatest, yeah.
Al Akbar. You see
Al-Akbar,
the
yeah.
definite article?
Definitely.
Al Akbar.
Yeah.
So now, if you're saying Allah is the greatest, that's the word you should be using.
What
Al
is
Akbar.
Allah?
Allahu Al Akbar.
Okay. But that might be a misinterpretation of the people of using Arabic language.
Okay.
No, but
let's
Arab
see.
people, they're wise. They should understand
Yeah.
that this is wrong.
Well, we're not done right there.
Yeah,
We're gonna slam this some more. But I mean, what
So then
somebody
here,
got
this
something
should
to
be
say?
the greatest pilgrimage then.
Yeah, this is the
Yeah,
greater
greatest
pilgrimage. Instead of greater, they should be
Yeah.
the greatest pilgrimage.
That's a superlative.
Yeah.
You see, this is grammar. Now,
It's a grammar,
this
yeah.
is a very basic. I don't know grammar,
Yeah.
but I know this very basic
Grammar. Yeah.
You see, I know this grammar here, so I can make my case.
Yeah, like big, bigger, best,
Yeah.
better.
Now, after this, you can call the grammarians in, and they can go on and go crazy, but they can't dispute this.
Yeah, definitely.
This is basic grammar 101.
Yeah.
You see, Kabir,
Al-Kabir.
Al
Al-Akbar.
no,
Al-Kabir.
Kabara rather,
Al-Kabir.
Kabir,
Al-Kabir, yeah.
Akbar, Al Akbar, Al Kabir. You see, that's
So
basic
in the
grammar.
English translation here, Hamza, this is supposed to be greatest instead of greater, right?
Yeah, but you know they do that kind of stuff always. So we're not. Yeah, that's
They're not
greatest.
a perfect
Yeah,
translator.
that's greatest.
They put
That would be
greater.
They're not
greatest.
a perfect translator.
You
Yeah.
see.
An announcement from Allah and His Messenger to the people on the day of the greater pilgrimage, that Allah is free from liability to the idolaters, and so is His Messenger. So if you repent, it will be better for you, and if you turn away, then know that you will not escape Allah, and announce painful testaments to those who disbelieve.
Now, you see what happens is that they try to get smart.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be prepared for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they said, well, brother, you know, when you say Allahu Akbar, you mean
Allah is
you
greatest.
see, He's the greatest.
Yeah, you say Allah sabse bade hai.
and-
In India, Allah
and
sabse bade hai.
and I said, well, then greater than what? It says you don't have to say greater than. There's nothing. He's not comparable with anything, because if you say greater than, is Allahu Akbar min.
Mhm.
You see, min would be there. But I'm saying no. There's something called elliptic.
Mhm.
Elliptic, and it's used in the Quran quite often. It means it's like when I say Allah. If I write Allahu Akbar and I write ... You've seen that sometime behind something.
Mhm.
That means that's called elliptic. That means I want to put than there, but I don't put it. I just put ...
Mhm.
Than, but that's
Than,
understood. Because if you say Allah is greater, you have to say greater than what? It has to be something that He's greater than.
Yes, then yeah.
So you didn't say it, so that's elliptic.
Yeah.
You see?
Okay.
If you say that Allah is the greatest, then He's the greatest over what? Who's greater and who's great? To make that's comparison. You
Comparison,
see,
yeah.
it's
There's-
all
There is
comparison.
nobody to be above them.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you're comparing Allah. So it said we told you from the Bible, who would you compare God with, or what would you compare to Him?
Mhm.
You see. Now look what Nehemiah said right here
Okay.
in this book. It says, look. And Ezra blessed the Lord, the great God. The great
Great
God.
God.
Yeah. Al-Kabir.
Al-Kabir.
The great God. The great God. Not the greatest.
Greater,
not the greater. The great
Great
God. Al-Kabir. That's what Al-Kabir would be. The great. The Lord. Al-Rab. Al-Kabir. The great God. You see?
It's like full stop.
The great
Supposed to
God.
be great.
It's supposed to be great God.
Great.
You see?
Not
It should not be
great.
greater.
And the people-
greatest.
and the
This-
people
if it is
answered,
a greater,
Ameen.
greatest, yeah, Amen. Yeah.
The people answered Amen.
If it is like great,
Yeah,
or
that's
if it is
right.
greater, then
Comparing.
it's a
Yeah.
comparison between something.
Something else.
Yes, yes. About greatest bolehगा तो
3:6.
You want comparing.
That's
तो
Nehemiah
मंदाना तो
chapter 8
great.
verse 6.
Great.
You see?
He is
8
great.
verse 6.
That's it.
The great.
Mhm.
The great, right?
Yeah, the great.
That's it.
That's what He has to be. Allah
The
has to be
great,
the
yeah.
great. Now let's see if that's
Only
true.
The greater. Greater will get to that. Somebody is there
Let's see.
to compare with. Greatest. Okay, somebody is greatest like he. Even
Yeah,
better than him?
great.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
He's
You
better
see?
than him?
So now you didn't even say Allah is Al Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
You didn't give him that kind of credit. You see? You just made him greater. You put the ER to him. Akbar is ER, not EST.
Okay.
You see? Greatest.
This is the conspiracy.
Al Akbar.
This is the
Now,
conspiracy.
now let's take a look and see. Look at chapter 117. Oh, chapter 17. I think it's 17, 111. I put 117, boy. I must have been
Yep.
Space.
That's what it is.
17, 111.
Yep.
What does it say there? 17, 111.
And say, praise be to Allah who has not taken to himself a son, who has not a partner in the kingdom, and who has not a helper because of weakness, and proclaim his greatness, magnifying him.
Look at that.
Wa Kabiru. Yeah,
Takbiring.
takbir.
You see? So now look. Here it is. Proclaim his greatness. Greatness. Magnifying him. You see? Magnifying him. Like if I take a magnifying glass and I put it on these letters, they're going to get big, right?
Yeah.
Right? If I take a big one of those big magnifying glasses and the little small letters and put it on there, boom, they get magnified. So that's what you want to do. You want to magnify Allah, make him big. So they say Allahu Akbar. That's magnifying him. But I'm saying you're magnifying him to saying bigger in a comparative way. So when Allah magnifies himself, what word does he use? Oh, let's take a look and see.
Al-Kabir.
Chapter 40, verse 12.
समझ रहे हो क्या बोल रहे हैं?
40-12.
अल्लाह को कहा बराबर ये करना.
Chapter 40, verse 12. When Allah
कुरान शरीफ
magnifies
में
himself.
खुद लिखा गया है कि कुछ लोग ऐसे होंगे जो ये क्लेम करेंगे कि अल्लाह ताला सबसे बड़े हैं.
हाँ.
वो अल्लाह ताला का नाम मैग्नीफाइंग लेंस लेके जैसे अपन कोई चीज को बड़ी करते
हाँ, बड़ी करते
they will
हैं.
try to magnify it. But the question is, if Allah himself, he wants to magnify himself, what word he will use for him?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah,
Am I
right.
wrong?
That's right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
did right. So let's take a look. Chapter 40, verse 12, and see what he used. And that's the word we use.
Chapter 40 verse.
Yeah. What he used, the word we use.
Yeah, this is something
Yeah.
very serious.
Yeah.
Chapter 40 verse.
Easy to remember, right?
Yeah, I got it.
That is because.
Chapter 40 verse 12. That is because when Allah alone was called upon, you disbelieved, and when associates were given to him, you believed. So judgment belongs to Allah and the High, the Great.
Look at that. What is the word for the great?
Arabic में क्या है?
Al-Kabir.
Look at that. Al-Kabir.
Al-Kabiri.
समझे तो से
Al-Kabir.
अल्लाह है.
That means there's no comparison. There's no comparison. That means look.
And it is also mentioned over here that if you join his name with somebody else,
Yeah.
you like it.
Yeah, you
And
like
if
that.
you don't
You're
join
doing
him,
the salah.
alone himself, you don't
Yeah.
believe.
So if I say, if you said, brother, can you call the dawn? I said, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Hayya ala salah. This is astaghfirullah.
Astaghfirullah.
You didn't say Ashhadu Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Yeah.
You didn't mention his name with that. They don't like that. So I said, oh, I'm sorry. Ashhadu Muhammadur Rasulullah. Nah, subhanallah. They like that.
So here they say.
You see? Whenever you mention, when Allah alone is mentioned, you don't like that. But when anybody's mentioned along with him, you're happy. Just mention anybody, especially Muhammad. Just mention anybody. You're happy. So now look. So here's what Allah does with the verb. The verb is kabara. The adjective, it has to come out of the verb and become an adjective. And as soon as it becomes an adjective, Allah swoops it up.
And that's one of the 99 names,
Description.
Yeah.
No.
Allah takes it before it can get into any comparison. There's no comparison there. Allah grabs it right away and puts the definite article on it. As soon as it comes out of it hatches into a word, Allah grabs it, boom, for himself. As soon as it hatches. It didn't get a chance to be and grow.
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
It didn't get a chance to grow. Allah grabbed it right away, boom. But you want to let it grow.
And this name is also in there in the 99 names of
99
Allah.
names, right?
What?
Kabir,
Kabir,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about 99 names of Allah. There's the word right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in what they talk about, yeah. You see? Chapter 7, verse 180, what's it say?
7 verse 180.
That's gonna hurt you there. That's gonna hurt you right there.
180?
180.
Yeah, chapter 7, verse 180.
180. Don't you hurt me? There you go. Let me get ready to get hurt.
Yeah, it's gonna be hurt right here. This is
Video
gonna take away the 99 attributes.
And Allah are the best names. So call on Him thereby and leave alone those who violate the sanctity
Yeah.
of His names.
Yeah, right.
They will be recompensed for what they do.
Yeah, look at that. Allah's names are the best names.
Wallahi.
And how does His names get to be the best?
Okay.
Because they have definite articles.
Definite articles, yeah.
You see? His name has definite articles. You don't have, you can't, your
Those
name
who
don't have no
violate
definite
this-
article on it. You see? You're not Al somebody, thus somebody.
Yeah.
You know?
So what is that?
So now,
Okay.
Allah says, call on Him, be have with them.
Aikap kan.
Call on Him with them, you see, with those names. So those names have to be described to you. Where you going to get them from? Just think them up by yourself?
No.
They're whatever they're described in this Quran.
In the Quran, yes.
Those are the ones you know.
Yes.
So call on Him, biha, with them, you
With
see,
them, yeah.
and leave alone anybody else who violate the sanctity of His name. His name, when you violate it by making it a comparative form,
Oh, it's
He's
trying
bigger.
to-
That's anthropomorphism. Anthropomorphism. That's describing Allah in human language, with human terminology. Bigger.
Bigger, yeah.
You see? That's human, that's anthropomorphism. You see? Now, where's that? These are names that you have named you and your fathers? What's that?
Names,
1240?
1240.
Yeah, yeah, the opposite.
1240.
The opposite. 40, 12, 12, 40.
There you go. So you chimed in.
That's 735.
Ang berapa
Look at
itu?
Chapter 12?
Now look at this.
1240.
Sorry?
1240.
What does it say in chapter 12, verse 40?
You serve not besides Him, but names you have named, you and your fathers. Allah has sent down no authority for them. Judgment is only Allah's. He has commanded that you serve none but Him. This is the right deen, but most people know not.
Oh, look at that.
All three of those things. Most people.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Chapter 12, verse 40.
Okay, read.
You serve none besides Him, but names which you have named, you and your father. Allah has sent down no authority for them. Judgment is only Allah's. He has commanded that you serve none but Him. This is the right religion, but most people know not.
Now look at that. What does it say there? What is that verse? You have to understand what's being said there. You see? Allah says, because Allah says He's created you to serve Him. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. He's only created the men and the jinn to serve for Him, serve for His purpose. 51, 56. Now, He says now, but you are serving not beside you serve not besides Him, but names. These are names, descriptions that you have named. You gave these names to God and to the things that you served. You gave them names. You and your ancestors, your fathers, don't mean your literal father. Means your fathers, grandfathers, ancestors.
Your ancestors, yeah.
Yeah, you
forefathers,
just following
yeah.
that tradition. You're following tradition. This is the tradition. Oh, brother, according to tradition, they say Allahu Akbar. Well, so Allah says, Allah has sent down no sultan, no authority for that. So that means right there that if anything you say about Allah, Allah has to give you authority to say it. Where has He given you authority to say Allahu Akbar? He gave you authority to say Al-Kabir.
Yeah.
He didn't give you authority to say call him Akbar.
Only the name which is mentioned, yeah.
Yeah, that's a name that you named, you and your fathers. Allah didn't send no authority for that.
Everyone.
You see? So that means that's some other God that you got. He's commanded you serve none but Him. That's some other God that you got. Whoever the Akbar is, that's some other God that you got.
He's taking it in a different way.
You see?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another God that you got called
Because you are saying
Akbar.
something Allah Akbar is not
You
me.
see?
Allah Akbar. You are saying Allah Akbar is not me.
He said this is the right deen, but what? Most people don't know it. Most people. There
Yeah,
it is. Most people. Most people don't know. So, brother, look at all these people saying Allah. You're the only one to say that. Look at all these people saying that. And Allah said most people don't know.
और सुन क्या बोलते हैं?
Yeah, most means
You see?
99%.
Yeah.
You can say 99%.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you say because they say you don't know.
Yeah.
99%.
Yeah. Most is not just half. It's over 75%.
Yeah.
To start getting most.
More
It's
than
over 3/4.
Maybe more
It's
than
3/4 or more.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
more than
3/4 or more.
Yeah,
Not yet. Most.
Kami kasi
that.
See?
For the first time I've heard this word in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. So now.
It's been here 1,400 years.
Sorry?
Right.
What is it?
He said it's been here 1,400 years. It's the first time you're hearing it.
First time I've studied it. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So now look. Let's look at 45, 36 to 37. And then we'll move out of this to another category. Because there's more on this here. We can argue this Akbar thing more, you know.
You want more?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be sufficient for this.
45 what?
Yeah, convinced.
45, 36.
36 to 37.
So praise be to Allah, the Lord of the heavens and the Lord of the earth, the Lord of the worlds. And to Him belongs greatness in the heavens and the earth, and He is the mighty, the wise.
दिखा तुमने?
Greatness.
Kita din tepul.
Al-Khabir.
Kita sudah onse.
Al-Khabir.
45, 36 and
36 and 37?
Walahul Khabiri.
Allahil hamdu
Ya
Rabbis
Rabbi,
samawati wa
wal
Rabbil arzi Rabbil alamin.
This is greatness.
Yeah.
No comparison.
So praise to Allah, the Lord of the heavens and the Lord of the earth and Lord of the world. And to Him belongs
Maya
greatness.
translate बराबर के लिए
Greatness.
कैसे?
Greatness. Wallahul khabiri al-khabiri ya'u fi samawati. Wallahul khabiri.
Greatness.
Greatness, yeah.
Now, look at 31:30.
31, 30.
This is because Allah is the truth, and that which they call upon besides Him is falsehood, and that Allah is the High, the Great.
Al-Kabir.
Al-Kabir again.
So you calling on somebody besides
No,
Al-Kabir, that's falsehood.
There's a falsehood. That
Yeah.
means it's shirk.
Yeah, because that's somebody that's a comparative form. Allah can't be compared with nothing.
You are mixing somebody with Allah.
Yeah. There's somebody else. We don't know who that is. You see.
Khalid ko boleh mare kata dia.
Khalid, he will come and he will kill
So,
me. I'll tell him.
We conclude by saying Allahu Akbar is anthropomorphic.
ऐका तो एक ने तो काय बोलते हैं तो पर
We say Allahu Akbar is anthropomorphic
सुनना.
and Allahu Akbar is shirk.
And we make salah that shirk.
That's shirk. Yeah,
From the
because
start.
you started off with some shirk.
Allah.
In the beginning.
Allah has not sanctioned for that. Now let's just look at Salah. Now let's just jump right into Salah real quick.
Okay.
Let's jump right
Possible
into
can I
Salah.
go bathroom once?
Yeah, sure.
Please, eh?
So you can go to
No, we'll wait till you come back. We want you to you can put that on pause if you like, sir.
Not wrong, I think.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So that is what I have to adopt that method
Yeah.
to explain that guy.
Yeah,
Do you believe that?
yeah, I believe that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And to explain that, we should have that skill. We should have understand first ourselves. If we are understood, then you can explain him. Otherwise, nothing.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Okay. So now let's just
Why you look like this?
let's go ahead and get this Salah.
He's-
Tackle the
he's thinking-
Salah.
No, he missed me. That's why. I know he missed me. I know he missed me.
Okay, method.
Okay, now, see, there's a lot of approaches to the argument of the Salah. We just did one, Akbar. That was the one made me stop.
Right from there.
Once I see Akbar is wrong, I'm not going to stand and say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. I'm not going to keep
Every
saying
time
that.
you're saying that, you're saying wrong.
I'm
yeah.
saying
Even
wrong.
I'm thinking that. Yeah.
So everything follows has to be wrong. You see, that means the biha. When you say Bismillah Allahu Akbar, that the biha becomes haram. That means when you call up Ta'an, you call him the haram. You see, all the things that you say Allahu Akbar is wrong because Allah has not sanctioned that. That's not a name that Allah has chosen for Himself. That's a name of comparison.
Yeah.
You see, now. And Allah uses Al-Kabir. He can't be Al-Kabir and Akbar at the same time.
Definitely.
He has to be one or the other. And he says Al-Kabir, so we don't know Akbar.
Akbar, yeah.
So that rules that out for any scholar who thinks he knows everything more than that.
About Allahu Akbar.
Yeah, right. Because Allah can't be both at the same time.
Yeah.
He can't be bigger and the big at the same time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It should be one.
Yeah.
Great.
Like Dumb and Dumber. You know.
Yeah, that movie.
You can't be both at the same time. Now, another way to approach Salah is if I ask the sheikh, the scholar, the mufti, you see, I said, excuse me, sir, when you recite the Quran, who is the Quran to be recited to? What do you think he's going to say?
He's recited to the Muslim people.
So I'm saying, well, why are you reciting it to God?
I beg your pardon?
I'm going to ask them, why are you reciting the Quran to God? When you say the Quran is supposed to be recited to the people.
Muslim, yeah.
Not Muslim, to people.
Yeah, people, yeah.
To mankind.
Yeah, to the mankind, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's a book of guidance.
Definitely.
God doesn't need guidance, right?
He has guided us. So how
Yeah,
can
but
we
does
get
God need guidance? So
Amen.
why are you
the
reciting the Quran to Him? So now let's look and see. We're not just talking out of our head. Let's look and see.
That's the point, man.
17106. 17106.
This is it.
Good.
This is what I was waiting for the whole week.
And it is Quran we have made distinct, so that thou mayst read it to the people by slow degree, and we have revealed it in portions.
Look at that. So now, what is the purpose of the Quran? To recite it to the people.
Yeah.
And Nas, right? Now, all I got to do now to make this point here, I can put out an email to every Mufti scholar on earth. On earth. So I'm going to send it right to Azhar, to Sheikh over here, to Medina University, to wherever. I want to send an email, massive email to all top scholars. I don't want just any local guy.
Top scholars, yeah.
Top scholars. And I want to ask this one question and only one question. Can you show me one verse in the Quran that says recite the Quran to Allah? Because I'm showing you one that says recite it to the people.
Definitely.
So now you show me one that says recite it to Allah in the whole Quran. So when I stand by myself, I say Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, Qul huwallahu ahad, Allah, and then Allahu Akbar. I'm just standing there reciting to Allah. Can you show me a verse in the Quran that says do
because
that?
they're saying when you are praying Salah as if you are talking to Allah.
Right.
And if you're talking to Allah, you are preaching, you're talking the same guidance what He has taught
right.
us.
Right. That's why you can't walk in front of the person. They tell you that's why you can't walk in front of them.
You're going to get jammed right now.
Yeah, that's it.
You see, that's why you can't walk in front of the person because they say you're walking between a man and Allah. You see,
Yeah. I'm bold.
you're talking to Allah. Oh no, you're not bold yet. You get ready yet. This is just the beginning.
With at least Salah, with Salah at least.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
No, this is just
This is beginning, yeah.
this is just the beginning
Beginning
of
of
your woes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the beginning of your woes. No, you're not done yet.
Okay.
We're not letting you off the hook like that.
You want me to get dead, yeah?
Yeah, no, we got to
Finish
jam
it.
you.
Yeah.
Finish you.
See, this is jam time now.
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
walking home limping.
So now And it is a Quran we have made distinct for the purpose of reciting it to the people.
By slow degree.
Yeah, not recite to Allah, because the Quran has to be heard. See, the word Quran means to read out. Read out. Qara'a. Quran, it means to recite or read out.
Yeah.
Not read in or back. You don't read it in quiet to yourself or back to Allah. It goes one way. Unilateral. It goes out.
Kikari.
You see? It goes out. The Quran goes out. And it has to be heard. Otherwise the Quran means nothing if it's not heard.
And the one who is reading that is called Qari.
Qari, yeah, he's the reciter.
That's why we are saying in a Qari.
Yeah, and Allah is the reciter of the Quran. Look, 75.
Total misunderstanding, man.
He's the first reciter of the Quran. Allah. 75:16. Look at that.
That's 75 or 16.
75:16. Look at that. 75:16. Move not thy tongue therewith to make haste with it.
Move not thy tongue therewith to make haste with it.
Yeah, right. Don't go running off at the mouth. Don't go talking and getting speedy ahead. You see? Calm down. You see? Surely upon us rest the collecting of it and the reciting of it. We do the reciting. You see? So when we recite it, here's your job. You follow it. That's
Follow
what you do.
its recitation, yeah.
Yeah, right. You follow its recitation, right. You follow it, you see? Again, upon us rests the explaining of it. You don't try to explain nothing, you see? Thing. Case is closed there. There's nothing for you to explain, you see? Now,
But
follow
without the
it.
present life.
Follow it. Now, follow it. Now, you say follow its recitation. I'm saying follow it, period. And to prove that, it's 10:15. Look what it says right there, 10:15. 10:15. Chapter 10, verse 15. He's locked down now. You can't turn the pages. Before he was ready. He's jammed now.
He's jammed now, yeah.
Yeah, he's jammed now.
10:15.
Before they turn the page, he's right on him. No, he just forgot. He's forgetting the commands. he's in the twilight zone now. You got him going now. Okay.
Okay.
10:15.
And when our clear message are recited to them,
Yeah.
those who have no hope of meeting with us say, bring a Quran other than this or change it. Say, it is not for me to change. Yeah, we have read this. And for me to change it of my own accord. I follow not but what is revealed to me. Indeed, I fear if I disobey my Lord, the chastisements of a grievous day.
Look at that. Now, when our clear ayahs are recited to them, not to Allah, they say, bring a Quran or reciting,
To them, yeah.
reciting, you see, other than this, or if you can't bring one other than this, change the one you got. Change this one. You see? So he's not even addressing that first statement. It's like bizarre. So bizarre, I'm not even going to address that.
Yeah.
Like bring a Quran other than this. That's so bizarre, I'm not even going to address that. I'll address the one about changing it because that's something within my power. I can change it. See, I can't bring a Quran other than this. It's impossible. But I have the ability, if I want, to change it. But I'm not going to even do that. He says it's not for me to change it of my own accord.
Yeah.
What? I follow only. I follow only what is revealed to me from my Lord. So when we recite it, you follow it. You see?
Yeah.
That's what we just said. See? You follow it. Now, let's go back over to our 17:106. Because we got more work to do over there. And it is a Quran we have made distinct.
So that thou mayest read it to the people by slow degree, and we have revealed it its portion, in portion.
Good, good, good.
So you have to read it slowly. You have to understand it.
Yeah, right. Now, Now, the next verse, 107. Say, believe it or believe not. Surely those who are given the knowledge before it fall down prostrate on their faces when it is recited to them. So you imagine if the law falls down prostrate when you recite it to him?
No, I don't understand.
It says, believe in it or don't believe in it. You see, because you're reciting it to the people. So Allah saying you can believe in it or you don't believe it.
Yeah.
But the people who have been given the knowledge about this revelation before this Quran, when it's recited, when they hear it, they say, wow, this is what we heard before. We know this truth. You see? We admit this. We were already Muslims.
You can see on their faces.
Yeah, right. You see? They fall down prostrate on their faces when it is recited to them and say, glory to our Lord. Surely the promise of our Lord was to be fulfilled. And they fall down on their faces weeping, and it adds to their humility when it's recited to them. Now here's our crucial verses right here. You have to look at this here now, hard and heavy, because this is going to jam the whole world of ritual prayer.
When you finish this, I need to ask a question.
Well, you can ask it now before we get started.
All right, but it might take off into something. But
It
anyway,
might not. I don't have to answer it.
With Adam, when they tell the angels to be submissive to him, they use the word sujood,
Sujood, yeah.
and they use the word sujood here. You know, in terms of prostrating. But in the other thing that we were using in terms of submit, they use the word salamun, salim or something like that.
Yeah. Well, we've
What
already
is the difference? What is the difference when they're talking about being submit? You know, and the same thing is falling with the thing in 7-Eleven when they use the same word sujudan.
Yeah.
When it comes to the angels.
Yeah, we're talking about a physical prostration. That's what we were talking about. Is it a physical prostration? You have to read the word sajda in the whole of the Quran to get an idea what it is. Not just one place. Read it in the whole of the Quran, and you'll see does it relate to a physical prostration or not. You see?
You say about the
point.
tree and the moon and the sky and the
Yeah,
bird.
right.
There's
No,
no
I
sujuda.
understand.
The word is sujada there.
Yeah.
And
Right.
what is the word here? Also sujada?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's saying
You have to find out how many times that word sujood has been used in Quran
Well, not how
and
many,
in
yeah.
what context it's been used.
right. How's it used? Is
I'll
it used
give
for
it-
physical prostration or not?
Yeah,
Is
no.
there a word in the Quran for physical
Physical
prostration?
prostration.
Yeah, there is a word for physical prostration. No, it's not
Like I
this
have
yet.
studied for salat. I have taken out
Yeah.
all the words salat from the Quran. Where has
Yeah.
it been used? And I've never seen anything which can give me detail about praying a ritual salah. You know?
Yeah. Now we can look at that.
Okay,
So
yes.
right now, we don't want to follow that course right now.
Okay, okay.
But that's the way you find out what that is. Anything, the word salah even. You see how it's used in the Quran.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything, Allah is going to give you the explanation by how He uses it in the Quran.
Definitely, yeah.
He didn't see the Prophet didn't have a dictionary to go to.
He has only this.
He didn't say, let me see, excuse me, do you have a Lane's lexicon so I can see what the meaning of salah is?
Yeah.
No, everything is explained right here in the
Explain
Quran.
here, yeah.
You see, it explains itself. It's user friendly. So now,
It's a user friendly.
right,
Good word.
Quran is user friendly. Right. So now here's the point we want to look at. Say, call on Allah or call on the Beneficent. You see, by whatever you call on Him, His are the best names. You see, His are the best names. You see. Now, utter not your salah
Louder.
loudly. You see,
No, this one.
nor be silent in it, and seek a way in between.
Between these, yeah.
You see, don't make your salah loud, and don't be quiet. Find a way in between. You see. Let me see. Do I have that? So right away, while I'm looking for this, what does that mean?
Okay.
What is that saying to you?
That means whenever you remember Allah or you want to praise Him, you can take any name which has been mentioned in Quran.
No, we're not talking about remembering the law.
Then
We're talking about
prayers,
salah.
right? Salah, yeah.
No, we're talking about salah.
Call on
No,
Allah or
no,
call
no,
on
no, no.
meditation. Yeah.
No, we're talking about salah. We're not talking about dhikr.
Be silent and yeah.
We're not talking about dhikr. We're talking about
Salah.
salah. When you use the whenever you use
1
salah.
10, 1 11.
What kind of salah it is?
Yeah, no, I see
Oh,
that
no.
already. You,
Oh.
you alright?
Go ahead, sis. And
Yeah.
utter not that prayer
It
loudly.
should not be loud, it should
or
not be
sa-
silent. Yeah. And seek the way in between. It should not be too loud, it should not be too silent.
Yeah.
But in salah we have silent salah, we have loud salah.
Okay, now here's the point. What is the Quran saying then about salah?
You have to find out the way
Moderate.
in between. Moderate, yeah.
Not to be loud and not to be silent,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But be moderate. So what does that say for Dhuhr and Asr salah?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking.
Huh?
That's what we were discussing, isn't it?
What does that say for the Dhuhr and Asr salah?
Silent,
He doesn't say there, but
Huh?
he's talking about all salah, any salah.
Yeah, it should be like same everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm saying
We
what
have
is it?
different ways of salahs. Like Fajr we are like loud, Asr it's like silent.
So that means when you make your Dhuhr salah and your Asr salah, you're disagreeing with this verse, is it?
Yeah, definitely. It's giving reference. Yeah.
Is it or is it not?
Yeah, is it? It is.
So that's a problem then, isn't it?
There is a problem. That's what I was. We were discussing the same thing. There is a problem somewhere when I'm reading this, then I come to know that there should not be this way. There should be a moderate way of praying salah.
Mm-hmm.
It should not be too loud. It should not be too silent. But what are these kinds and where they came from?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Came
Yeah.
from Bukhari.
Bukhari, yeah.
Now, I have a piece of literature that I was going to do a talk in the class for. If you want, I can reference this material
Yeah.
in regards to these verses.
Okay.
Okay, question. Is the Quranic concept of salah a prayer ritual composed of mere vain repetitions as the heathens do? That's what I'm asking the question. You see, because that's what the Bible says about the prayer. Okay? Well, I got it right here. I'm sure you'll trust what I'm saying. Matthew chapter 6, verse 7. Matthew chapter 6, verse 7. He's looking at it.
Bible, okay.
Yeah, like this.
Let me get it out to make
Take
sure.
notice.
Let me get it out to make sure that I'm not.
Bible.
I like to always make things known and seen. So let's
And
look at
distracted
it.
because
Matthew
it's-
chapter 6. I told you he's jammed already. He doesn't look no Matthew in the Quran. What surah is Matthew? Okay, look. See now.
And when do we praise his direction?
Now here's something that the people that came to Jesus and wanted to ask them how to pray. It says, "When thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward, for what they're doing, showing off. But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut the door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, that thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. But," this is the verse I want.
Yeah, but
"when you pray, use not vain repetitions, as the heathens do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking." Vain repetitions. That means repeating the same thing over and over and over again in vain, because there ain't nothing happening. It's just the same thing. You're just doing it over and over again. Vain repetitions. You see? It's like I got a glass of water there. You see? A glass of water there. And I keep reaching, trying to get the water because I'm thirsty, and I keep reaching. Wow, and I keep reaching. I said, boy, rather than get up and get the water, I can see vain repetitions, reaching, and it's not getting me nowhere. I'm not getting nothing.
It's of no use, yeah.
You see? I'm not getting nothing from that. I'm just doing, so you're doing this ritual over and over. Ihdina Sirata Mustaqim. You already got the guidance, but you're saying Ihdina Sirata Mustaqim. Ihdina Sirata Mustaqim. So brother, we got the guidance right here. What do you keep saying the same thing over and over again
Which way you
for?
want?
You see, you got it right here.
Yeah.
Why you keep saying it over and over, and stand up and prostrate and stand up and prostrate and speak Arabic. Brother, I don't know Arabic. What did the guy say? Waka la 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 la. You don't know what the guy said. Over and over and over again. Over and over again.
Like I used to go in Africa for Juma.
Yeah.
And these people before khutbah, they give some they say some good things from Quran.
Yeah.
So
Right.
he was speaking in Swahili.
Yeah.
When I was new over there, I was like sitting
Yeah.
1.5 hours like this, not understanding anything.
Nothing.
With blood face,
Right.
nothing in my mind. I'm just
Right.
listening. Whatever you say, I don't
It's
understand.
nothing to you. And so the Quran is guidance and you're not getting nothing.
Yeah.
You see? So now, I'm asking, is this salah like that? Like what they just said in the Bible? Vain repetitions. You see? Now, in the Quran, it tells you about those vain repetitions.
8:35.
Chapter 8, verse 35.
Weak now.
How'd you know that? You looked? Oh,
Yeah.
You're using your number.
yeah.
You got your traits now.
Look out there.
He's scanning.
That's it. Documents. That's it.
I'm looking here and there now. As if somebody has put me in the water now. You swim.
You see why you got up your sleeves now.
Yeah.
You give him the salah, he's gonna be done.
And the prayer at the house is nothing but whistling and clapping of hands. Taste then the chastisement because you disbelieved.
Look at that. Their salah at the house is nothing but whistling and clapping hands.
Clapping hands.
See, that's vocal and action.
Action, yeah.
The same thing you do. Reciting and
Acting.
bending.
Yeah.
You see, you're doing the same thing. You're whistling and clapping hands. That's what your vain repetitions are. You're reciting the same thing. Ihdina sirata mustaqim. Ihdina sirata mustaqim. Allahu Akbar. Ihdina sirata mustaqim. Over and over and over
Repeating the same
again.
thing and acting the same thing.
And then bowing and moving.
Who
So
these people are who is doing
these are the hypocrites.
okay, non-believers.
No,
Munafiqin.
yeah, the hypocrites.
Okay.
You see, but they're doing salah.
Okay.
They're doing salah.
And we are trying to do
But
that
their salah is a ritual.
ritual. Yeah.
You see, their salah is a ritual, and whenever they come there, they just whistle and clap hands. It's the same thing over and over again. Vain repetitions. That's what they're doing. So Allah is rejecting a ritual salah. This ritual
Yes.
is being rejected. You see, vocal and action. They say and they do not. You see.
And their prayers at the house is nothing but whistling and clapping of hands.
That's all it
Then
is.
the chastisement because you disbelieve.
See? So now it's like when you go to a concert and you see your star and you're whistling and you see? That's what you're doing. Whistling and clapping hands. You see? Because at the Kaaba, it's supposed to be a place where you congregate to speak about your Creator.
Creator, yeah.
You see? And so and then you congregate there, you speak about your Creator like the United Nations over there.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
And you have food, feed the people, and then they go about their business back to their places. But these people come there and they see their tribal leader, somebody, and they whistle and clap their hand, yo, shake those, you know, like
Maybe the sisters
yeah,
do it.
like when D-Dad used to come on the stage, they said, Takbir! Takbir! You know,
This is
that kind of
they
thing.
have to come again once one more. This
Yeah,
one.
you
see?
There are many things to get clear and it will take
So now look,
hours and hours. Yeah. They have to come back again once.
so I begin this here.
But
Yeah.
we're
Talk on
coming
this.
down, you know.
Yeah.
You know we're coming down.
Where?
To
No, he's in here, Brooklyn.
I'm thinking.
Oh, you're in Brooklyn.
He's just visiting here. He's gonna go back India, so
Here
so he can come here with father, you know.
For
For 5 months, he come
Yeah.
for 5, 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now I'm opening this talk. Maybe I shouldn't even do all that. To use up all that time.
Just give them a simple shuaib. Do the simple shuaib thing. And,
You know, I want to do the simple charade thing. I want to do this thing right
Yeah.
here.
oh, okay.
But maybe I don't need all this long introduction.
No, yes, well, not the
I
introduction.
show him about Shue, but let
No,
him
we'll
go
get it.
ahead.
We'll get it because he's gonna get this in
Yeah,
class. You
yeah.
know. and then I can mail it to you.
You got this kind of classes also over here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we get together like this every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
Okay, look. So now I have these two verses kind of like word for word broken down here from the word for word translation, and I have the word for quiet and loud, the two Arabic words. You see? So let's look at it. It says now, say, call Allah, call on the most merciful. Whatever you invoke, his are the names most beautiful. You see, Al-Husna. You see? And neither make loud your salah, nor make inaudible, and seek between that away. Now, here's the word for loud. Tahar. La tahar. You see? Tahar. So now, there's the word up here, tahara. From jahara. That's from the verb, jahara. It was or became plain, apparent, conspicuous, open to the or public. He uttered his speech and the saying and his recitation with a raised or loud voice, a loud, high, loud, or here's the word I like, vehement speech.
Vehement speech, yeah.
You see, that's the word. Vehement speech, loud, annoying. You're annoying people. You see, you're giving some khutbah and you got the loudspeakers and people say, why don't they make that loud? You know, that's so loud. You know, we over here, we not
Get
belong to
irritated,
that.
yeah,
That's not for us. You understand? You want to just drown everybody else out. You see, so also don't make it so loud because now the people don't like you. You know, the Muslims open, they got that loud thing out there calling it. You know,
call of prayer.
Yeah, call it all loud and annoying
Many
people.
they say
they say
shouting too much in the night, man. For 5 o'clock.
They got to do that. Or, you know, say like the Christians ringing bells and all that. So Allah said, don't make it so loud to annoy people. You see, but because it's got to be heard, don't make it too quiet. You see. So here's the word for quiet. You see, khafata. You see, the voice was or became still or silent, was or became low or soft or gentle or slender and became weak by reason of vehement hunger. He lowered his voice in the reading or recitation, read or recited with a low voice, applied to speech other than a low voice. Now here's the word I like, suppressed.
Suppressed.
You see?
Suppressed voice.
Yeah. Right. You see, suppressed. Vehement, suppressed. Don't do either one. Don't suppress your voice and don't make it vehement.
Too loud
Take
also.
Take a voice in between. Now, why do you suppose the law is telling you to take a place in between there when you recite
The
your salah?
It should not disturb others. It should not disturb others.
No. That's for not making it loud. If you make it low, it's not going to disturb anybody.
Yeah. It should reach to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should reach to the people also, and it should not be too loud
There you
also.
go. There you go.
Yeah.
Because it has to be heard.
It has
It's
to be heard,
instructions.
Yeah.
It's instruction.
Yeah.
So your salah has to be. You have to be instructing somebody with your salah. Your salah has to be given instructions. So therefore, you can't be reciting it to Allah. You're not giving them instructions. And therefore, in Dua and Asr, nobody's getting any instructions.
Yeah.
Well, when we make Dua, okay, brothers, okay, straighten up your lines. All right, okay, the lines are straight. Okay, Allahu Akbar.
No.
Allahu Akbar.
No,
Allahu liman hamidah.
they are doing exactly what they are doing. What is not to be, what is not asked to be done.
So I'm saying I don't know what the Quran is saying. You're not giving me instruction. I can't hear the
They are talking
Quran.
loudly also. They are talking silent, very silent.
But
So
like
now-
there is no Allah Akbar, is Salah is
So
collapsed.
yeah, but not even with Allahu Akbar now. I can't hear the Quran. You're not doing. The Quran is invalid now. The Quran ain't telling me nothing. I don't know what you're saying. You could be saying you could be worshiping Jesus or anything.
You can be singing songs.
You could be singing a song. You could be saying, "Well, I'm tired of doing this thing over and over again." Allahu Akbar. I don't know what you're doing. You see? But I do know what you're doing. You're violating this verse. You're violating this verse. You see? So now your door is wrong. So now comes the Asa. Allah Akbar. Your Asa is wrong. It's wrong.
Definitely,
Now, when you made your
Juma.
Maghrib and your Isha, your third rakat is wrong. Because that's silent. And your fourth rakat is Isha's wrong. Third and fourth. You know, you're reciting in the Quran and there's nothing. That's wrong. So now you got your door and Asa is wrong outright.
Okay.
And your third rakat of Maghrib is wrong. So that invalidates the whole Maghrib.
Okay,
How about Azan? Allah Akbar.
Huwag may lento. Quran si Bat.
Yeah, he's got the revelation down. That's a white. He says, we just got to do that. He was asleep. Okay, here we go. I mean, that hit him just like, wow, you know.
Can you go back?
So three gone.
Your door and Asa is gone. Maghrib is gone because when you took half of them away, the whole thing is invalid. Your Isha is gone because the second two rakats is silent, so that's gone. Now it's left your Fajr. So, well, brother, I got you with the Fajr. You see? Because the Fajr is loud and it doesn't have to be too loud and all that. I said, but it's gone too. How's it gone?
It's too loud.
Huh?
All the two rakat.
Excuse me?
Is the silence?
No,
how's it gone?
No, he said it was gone. Let him answer.
6106 is gone, makes it go.
6106?
Yeah, because you're reciting it to Allah.
You're reciting to Allah.
I mean, 717 106.
You're reciting to Allah.
You're reciting
and
it
the
to
same thing
Allah.
what we are reciting, definitely.
You're reciting it to Allah.
Alhamdulillah.
So that's gone. Yeah, you're reciting the Quran to
But in
Allah.
Fajr also we are loud, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're reciting to God.
to
You're
God,
standing
yeah,
there.
yeah.
The Quran is for men.
Yeah, you're reciting it to God, and that's gone.
And again, the Allah Akbar is also
Yeah,
there.
so they're all
So there are
gone.
many wrong things are there, so it shows it clearly.
All of them are gone.
Yeah.
See,
If
all
it's
of them
one
gone.
wrong is finished. Forget it many.
But there are many. We have seen so many now. You see,
You recite to Allah.
it is going against the Quran,
Yeah.
and exactly they are doing exactly the against the Quran. Yeah.
Watch him when he goes home now. Make sure he don't make.
No, this is his way.
Now look
I
what
told you I
happens.
was like partially beaten.
Now look what happens in the next verse. What does the next verse say?
Which one is that?
110.
Chapter 8.
Where are you?
We were eight.
And
You're on chapter.
17,
You're not even in
110.
the right place. 17, 110.
17.
110.
Did the close?
Wait.
Yeah, there's 17. 110. Say, call on Allah or call on the
No, this
beneficent.
one. This one.
111.
Yes.
And say, praise to be Allah, who has not taken to himself a son, and who has not a partner in the kingdom, and who has not a helper because of weaknesses, and proclaim his greatness magnifying.
So now in Salah, Allah is telling you what to say. Look, He told you when you do your Salah, don't make your voice too loud and don't make it too quiet,
Yeah,
right?
and after that,
go
yeah.
in between.
And say,
And this is what you say.
praise to be Allah.
So you saying that to Allah?
Yes, praise to be Allah.
Okay, you're saying that to Allah. Praise the Alhamdulillah. Now
has
you're
not
telling
taken
them,
to himself.
you're telling them, this Allah, whoever you're talking to, you're telling them that this Allah has not taken to himself a son. So whoever that Allah is that you're talking about, the Akbar Allah, because that's who you call them. So you're telling them that Allah, you say the Akbar Allah, you're telling him that Allah has not taken all praises to Allah, not you. You getting some of the praise because I said Allahu Akbar. But all the praise belongs to Allah. And He's the one who's not taking to himself a son. You're telling that to the one you're talking to. And you're telling him also he doesn't have a partner, you see, to share in his kingdom. And he has no helper because of weakness. That's what you're telling God. It seems to me that you're telling this to the people, aren't you?
Yeah.
Supposed to tell to people.
This is what you. That's why you got to make your voice heard.
That means the prayer is whatever. See, after this verse,
One thing,
what I'm understanding is like in Quran, prayer means just to keep in your mind or bear in your mind that there is no God but Allah, and you praise Him by saying whatever name you want.
Okay.
All the names are for Him, and they are good. That's all.
Okay,
That is the prayer.
that's what you're thinking. Okay,
Yeah.
but that's not going to be the prayer. But look,
Okay.
here's the point. You see, you're saying that Allah is telling you that you have to say this to the people. You see,
Yeah.
you have to say this to the people. So what are you saying to the people? You're telling the people that all the praise is due to Allah.
Definitely.
That's why your voice has to be heard, because you have to say something to the people.
Okay, so this is what our prayer is, dawah.
There you go, Bo.
Okay.
Dawah.
That is your
Dawah.
prayer.
That's
That
a
is
good
your
point.
prayer.
That's a good point. Dawah. Your
Whoa,
salah is
man.
dawah. Your salah is dawah. Now, now write down on your page
Yeah.
dawah,
Okay.
and write down 1187 because we're gonna come there. Look at that. Dawah. Your salah
Tell
is
the
dawah.
people.
Tell the people, and it should be heard. It should not be very daba ke mat rakho loud. It should not be very low. It should not be, that is what prayer is. And these people, they have misinterpreted it.
Yeah.
They do ritual salah.
Salah is dawah.
Bowing
Yeah,
down.
salah is
The
dawah.
legislation that
ritual
Allah gives
dawah.
you here, the dawah.
So now you see it right here.
So
You see it right here.
exactly what he's doing now. He's doing
Yeah.
dawah.
This is
This is
salah.
salah.
This is
This is
salah.
salah.
That's a salah.
Yes, salah.
What we doing right here?
Yeah.
And
This
that's
is
why
salah.
people used to gather in Jama. It's
Right,
like
right.
Jumma, they
Right,
yeah.
Jama.
right.
Jama is like a gathering,
Right.
and we are talking
Jumma.
about
Yeah,
right.
God, and it's
Right.
dawah.
Not
Not
to
just
go
on
and make
Friday,
a salah
not just on
ritual,
Friday.
right?
Right.
Not just on Friday, any day.
Anytime it's
Jama
called.
is like,
Friday
it can be
Jama.
Saturday, it can be on
Yeah.
Monday. it's
Whenever
Jama.
it's called.
It could be
Jama
2 or
is
3
like
times a
gathering.
day.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
2 or 3 times a
Whenever
day.
you call, whenever you call, you come and then you discuss.
See, because the
Today
prophet was the
we
only...
call for the prayer, and we
Yeah.
are praying now.
Yeah, right. Because the prophet was the only one who had the Quran. Nobody else had the Quran.
This is a simple practice
see?
of a religion, man.
The,
Not religion.
the prophet was the
Yeah,
only
it's not
one...
religion.
yeah.
It's like
The prophet was the only one who had the Quran, so he had to call the people to hear it. You
Yeah.
see, so Allah said, whenever He called you, stop doing and come and hear it. And then when you hear the verses that He's going to give you now, go back and do what you're doing. You see,
Definitely.
That's what
Once we
you
finish from
And-
here, we can
yeah.
go. We can do whatever
And that's
we want. We can
whenever
eat,
He calls
we can
you.
work. Yeah.
He may call you 3 or 4 hours later and say, "Look, I got something else to say," because maybe somebody said something about something, and He said, "Well, look, Allah has already told me what to say about that. Let me call you back." He said, "Look, don't say so and so, and don't do so and so." He might call you tomorrow, the next day. It says Yom Juma. It doesn't say Friday.
Whoa.
Yom, the day of gathering,
Gathering,
and the
yeah.
day of congregation, whenever that day is.
But they confuse with the Juma's prayer and so on.
But they want to compete with the Christians and Jews, because the Jews have theirs on
Shabbat,
Friday,
Shabbat,
Christians on
Friday.
Sunday, so they want to have theirs on. I mean, the Jews have theirs on Saturday, the Christians have Sunday, so the Muslims say, "Let's jump ahead and have ours on Friday."
The Jews, they
And
start
beat them to the
Friday.
punch. Yeah,
That's
there's a Friday night.
This is a big
Yes.
conspiracy, man.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy. Is right. So now we see what these verses here are saying, right? So now you're
Am I following
focusing.
proper way? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
saying the
now,
right word.
let's now we got this here. Now let's go and look at something else. Let's look at 1187, like what you said.
1187.
What you were saying about dawah. Let's look at that real quick.
So this is what I want to
That's your
understand,
salah.
and that is what cleared now to me in my
You
mind.
clear, right?
Then-
Clear. So
then
no,
clear.
no more salah.
No
No
more
more ritual salah. No more salah. No more ritual salah.
No more ritual salah.
Yeah.
There should be salah, but this kind of salah.
Yeah, you have to understand what salah is, and not that,
Aadmi लोग को
not that
follow
vain
क्या है,
repetitions that you do.
नहीं
नहीं,
बैठ के दिन की बातें करो कुरान को लेके. That is real salah.
Salah.
You want to pray salah, this is salah. You want to call for prayer adhan, that is this whatever he has done with the phone. He
Yeah.
took his appointment. We are coming. This guy just came. This is
Yeah.
call for salah.
Yeah, right. So now, and the details have to be in the Quran. You see, and
Yeah, the
Allah
details
tells
should be
you.
in the Quran, yeah.
Allah tells you the details. He said when you come, wash your face and hands and all that. If
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have-
he was
if you
asking
have
that
women-
question, yeah.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
have.
that means we are coming for
yeah.
the meeting. I cannot come just
Right,
walking on the
just
street,
smelling all,
smelling.
smelling all that.
People will not sit
right.
with me. They
you
will not
have
talk
sex
to me.
and all that.
It's like I'm stinking with my body. This guy will not sit
right.
with me. Okay,
we
let me
can't
go
stay in
there.
the same room. Say, wow, something smells, and I can't focus because the guy's
Yeah,
smelling.
because he was thinking,
Yeah.
he told me,
Zaman-
Rukun Salah is a wudu.
Yeah.
I
It was
think I
not wudu,
explained
yeah,
it.
right.
But he didn't understand. Maybe you can explain better.
No,
Well,
I
you already
understand.
know
it's
now.
clear now.
They know now.
It's clear now because
They
I'm
know
clear.
now.
With,
Yeah.
my doubt was on
His
Salah.
family or his friend? His friend and family? Your family?
Yeah. My I have a
Nephew for
cousin.
them, yeah.
His daughter.
Oh,
So now,
Son. Yeah.
11. Let's look at 1184.
87.
Now,
Okay.
this is before Muhammad and the Quran here.
Okay.
This is the people of Midian. You see,
And,
Shuaib's
and to
people.
the Median, yeah.
Yeah. So now, here, these people here is going to tell you what Salah is, because they're going to know it right away. So look at what it says. And to Midian,
We
you
send,
see it?
we
It
send
said their brother Shuaib, right?
Yeah.
He said, "Oh my people, serve Allah. You have no God but Him." That's the first thing Salah commands. That's the dawah. You said.
Dawah, yeah.
The first thing is Tawheed. You see? Serve Allah. Everybody serve Allah. You have no God but Him. You see? Now, give not short measure and wait. You see? Give not short measure and wait. You see? Don't cheat the people on the scales. When you, I see you in prosperity. You got a lot of things. The economy's good and all that. You're doing well. And I fear for you the chastisement of an encompassing day if you keep robbing the people and ripping them off, because you have no reason to do that. The economy's doing, you're making a lot of money in your business and all that. Why are you ripping the people off? Don't do that.
Don't do that, yeah.
85. And O my people, give full measure and weigh justly, and defraud not men of their things, and act not corruptly in the land, making mischief. You see? Now, what remains after that is what the law is better for you. If you believers, and I'm not a hafiz over you, I'm not the hafiz over you, I'm not the keeper over you, I'm not going to stand here and watch you every minute to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Brother, excuse me, can you move your hand off the scale? Let me see what you do. I'm not going to do that. I got other things to do. Now, it's up to you. I done told you what to do. So look what they said to Shuaib. What did they say in verse 87?
They said, O Shuaib, does thy prayer enjoin thee that we should forsake what our fathers worship, or that we should not do what we please with regards to our property? Forsooth thou art the forbearing, the right direction one.
Look at that. They said, O Shuaib, does your salah command you that we should not worship? The first thing your salah is commanding that we should worship what our fathers worship. You know, you're going to tell you we can't be worshiping that? They worship statues and pagans and boom and the ancestral stuff. Your salah is commanding you that we can't do that, to tell us that, and that we can't do what we want to do with our property and our stuff. That's what your salah is commanding you. Salah is giving orders.
Okay.
Look at that. Salah is giving dawah.
Dawah, yeah.
Yeah. Salah is doing dawah. You see?
Yeah.
So they understand what salah is. What Shuaib said, they called it salah.
There you go.
What Shuaib said to them, they named it salah.
So it's like guidance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right,
Guidance is salah. If you're
Yeah,
guiding,
right.
if you're doing dawah,
right,
it's salah.
right.
A big commitment. The same
Yeah,
thing.
commitment, allegiance, all of this kind of words, all those words. You see?
No, I don't think so. Do you think so that commitment is
Yeah.
like dawah?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, because
In
you're
what
not going to
sense?
you're not going to do dawah if you're not committed to it, are you?
After you give the dawah, you have to act on it.
No,
But
no.
we cannot see wherever salah the word is being used in Quran.
Yeah.
We cannot assume every time it's a commitment.
No. Here's what. Tell me what time you can.
Sorry,
Show me a time that you
I
can't say
haven't studied.
commitment.
I haven't studied that. That's
Then
why I
Oh,
was thinking.
okay.
when
Well, I
was
thought
studying,
maybe you
yeah.
know. I'm saying you can,
You can.
but I'm saying there's stronger words than commitment. See, since we're
The
translating.
stronger word than commitment is dawah.
No, No, dawah is an Arabic word. We're
Okay.
talking about an English word now
Okay,
because this
invitation.
is in English translated to
Invitation.
English.
Invitation.
No, I say allegiance.
Allegiance.
Yeah, allegiance. Allegiance. You see. Now.
Yeah, it's commitment. It can misinterpret you. You can have a misconception because of commitment. Yeah, I have sometimes. I don't know why. Commitment
Well-
I take it in a different way sometimes.
Well, you say, well, brother, you know,
Allegiance.
I can't come because I have commitments already.
Yeah,
I'm committed.
yeah,
You
committed.
see,
Yeah,
I'm committed. I have commitments.
yeah,
But I use the term allegiance because that's even stronger than commitment.
fidelity,
You see?
faithfulness in the discharge of a duty or an obligation of fidelity, respect to an obligation.
Oh, you got that
to a
definition there for
government
him,
for
right?
citizens responsible. And
Yeah.
he has this. To a
He's got it.
superior or to a principle. Oh, okay. Means if you are committed to certain principle or obligations or the laws, that is what your allegiance is.
Okay, now let me show you allegiance, what I have here. I have allegiance because what made me use allegiance in particular after I looked it up, in this country right here, when you want to become a citizen of the United States, the biggest country and greatest country on the planet Earth, they make you pledge allegiance.
Okay.
They pledge
So
allegiance.
Allegiance. That's why they're
Yeah,
using that
a
word.
pledge allegiance, you see. And so now, if I look and say allegiance, a guarantee for the performance of an act, contract, or duty. A guarantee
Guarantee, yeah.
for the performance of an act or contract or duty. You guarantee to do it. Allegiance, pledge. Pledge rather. Allegiance. Fidelity, i.e. faithfulness in the discharge of duty or of obligation, or an obligation of fidelity to a government, from a citizen to a superior or a principal.
Okay.
Who's our superior? Allah.
Allah.
I pay homage, service to God, to those principles of right that are supreme, and I acknowledge the duty of obedience to all rightful authority. So now you're looking in the Quran. Now we come back to what I told you before, 6:162, where the messenger to my sense is pledging allegiance.
Pledging allegiance, okay.
Yeah.
6:130.
6:162.
So allegiance would be like to align yourself.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
that's
that
like
means you are committed
Tawheed.
to, yeah.
It's an obligation
Yeah.
of fidelity,
Yeah.
of fidelity to a government or
Give it to
superior.
them.
Yeah.
Make it to them.
Yeah, that's Tawheed.
So now,
6:162, yeah.
yeah, 6:162 is the Pledge of Allegiance right there.
Show me my prayer.
That's
my
the Pledge of
sacrifice,
Allegiance.
my life, my
Say,
death.
my prayer and my sacrifice and my life and my death are surely for Allah, the Lord of the world. Definitely.
Right. So now, I was telling you about before that Salah didn't fit in there, ritual prayer. But if you say, surely my allegiance
Allegiance, yeah.
and my sacrifice and my life and my death, they all flow right in together.
Okay.
My allegiance. You see?
And what sacrifice does stand for here?
Nasiha.
Nasiya. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Nusuki, rather. I'm sorry.
Nusuki. Yeah.
Nusuki. Sacrifice. The
Sacrifice,
sacrifices
yeah.
that you make.
Yeah.
You have to make
My prayer, my
sacrifices.
sacrifice.
You see? Maybe sometimes you might have to give up a job or something, or
Yeah, you have to stay away with
do
your
some-
family
yes,
or something. Yeah.
avoid your family or whatever.
Yeah.
You see, or you understand, do without certain things. You understand, to support whatever it is that you're supporting for the cause of Allah.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you have to make certain sacrifices.
How about that?
So,
my
and you would you might end up giving your life for that cause. You see, you might die for it. You spend your life in it.
Mm-hmm.
You see.
how about that? I say my life and my sacrifice for Allah, something like that.
That's
About-
six.
That's what we just reading. No,
6:162.
that's what we're reading. Yeah, that's what we just read.
6:162.
Boy, they both getting these bursts
No,
bursts of
that's-
energy.
The verse of it.
Yeah.
You okay? You okay? Yeah.
No, I had a problem today with my stomach.
So now look,
From
let's take another look at 2945.
29:45. 29:45. These people are laughing because I'm clean board already.
No, that's right.
Nothing to discuss.
Squeaky
about.
clean, like Mr. Clean. Squeaky clean.
29?
Yeah. No,
29:45.
29:45.
This should set you on your way.
Recite that which has been revealed to thee of the book and keep a prayer. Surely prayer keeps
Yeah, this one I was.
one away from indecency and evil. And certainly the remembrance of Allah is the greatest force. And Allah knows what you do. Now I'm understanding this.
Yeah. Right.
Now I'm
Right.
understanding this.
Right. Right. So
That day
now.
when you asked me to read, I was confused again with
Yeah,
the word
you
prayer
told
over
me.
there.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, it says, rehearse that which is revealed to you of the book. And Akimus Salah. You see, the word Akimu is from the word Kawama.
Kawama.
Where you get the word Kiyam.
Okay.
Yeah. Like where it says, men are the Kawamun of women and children.
Okay.
Kawam.
Kawama.
They stand in place for them. They stand for the women. You standing in place for the women and children. In other words, rather than have your women and children go out and have to work every day, you go out and do it. Let them stay home and grow and groom themselves or whatever. Rather than for the women and children go out and fight because there's somebody out there causing problems, you go out and do that. You stand up for them, you see, on their behalf. That means you have to do it all the time. You don't just do it sometimes. No, I'm not going to work today. Y'all ain't got nothing to eat. Well, I'm just starved then because I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? So the kids are, Daddy, we hungry. Please go to work. No, I'm not going today. You know, I'm not going. I don't like riding that train. You see? So now you have to do it all the time. So qiyam means you put something in place, you establish it, it stays there, you don't stop.
Yeah.
So the only way to make your salah makes it says nanha, right? Nanha, they say it prevents.
Like we can say empty mind is a devil workshop, something like that.
True that,
Yeah.
right. So there you go.
Yeah.
So therefore you have
now.
to keep your mind constantly flowing with
Yeah,
stuff.
so
Otherwise,
it
once it
keeps you
stops,
away from the evil things.
Shaitan is
and
right in. Good
Wow,
point.
man.
Good point. So now, let me write that down.
You understand? I was taking it in a different way as of these
Yeah.
hadith people they are
Different
taking.
ones,
Okay, how, if you pray, you keep away yourself, your soul get pure, you
Yeah.
keep away yourself from
No,
that.
no.
This is something different. This is something he's talking about,
Good point.
staying alone, doing nothing, sitting at home.
Yeah.
You can think of something bad, you can
Yeah,
do bad
yeah.
activities,
Yeah.
but if you are committed to your activities, you are working every day,
Yeah.
getting bread and butter
Yeah.
for your family,
Yeah.
that keeps you away
Doing
from
the
bad
right
things.
thing, right. Now not only keeps it away, it makes it impossible. That's the term we want to translate. We want to say make impossible. You see, the word nanha, where they say prevents, I like to use to translate it as
Impossible.
to make impossible. Because it's impossible for you to do a fahish munkar, shameful and evil deeds, if you're following this Quran. So we're saying salah means to commit, to align, to follow something. To follow something closely, to be committed to it. You see?
Yeah.
So now, if you're doing the salah, you can't do a shameful and evil deed. But if you're doing that thing that they do over there, that ritual prayer, you can do shameful and evil deeds.
Yeah, that's
doing-
what I
they're
was
doing-
telling him.
They're doing it while they're doing it every day. They're doing killing, lying, stealing, raping, fornicating,
it's
and
everywhere,
whatever. They do that
They do
already.
bad things and then they salah
Yeah.
and they said, okay, now God will forgive me.
Right. But that means anybody on the earth, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a Muslim. Anybody who follows this Quran, who adheres to this,
They can
the
stay away
dictates of
from the
this
bad
Quran,
deeds, yeah.
it cannot. It's impossible for you to do a shameful and evil deed if you follow this Quran.
But the concept should understand.
Yeah.
They should not follow the Quran just like, okay, I'm following Islamic religion. It's not a religion, as you said, it's a guidance. So
way of
this
life.
can be a guidance for anybody.
Of course.
It's not Islamic guidance, it's a guidance for the mankind.
Man.
Right. Now, here's the point. Everything is in pairs, right? So the word salah has to have a pair that goes with it, that opposite it. You see? Like up has to have down. Over has to have under. Right has to have wrong. Big has to have small.
Yeah.
You see?
Pair, yeah. And
So salah has to have a companion word also.
that.
Huh? So let's see what Allah says the companion word is for salah.
They say that they have companion, sunnah.
Huh?
No.
No, not like that.
Sunnah ki baat nahi
No,
karte.
we're talking about what the Quran says.
Quran.
No, I'm saying that these people, they say like that.
Ah.
Yeah.
Companion? Oh yeah, but they ain't got that for the Quran. We're not interested in that nonsense. 75:31.
Let's see if this is what's happening. If it's the right thing that I just.
79?
75:31.
Yeah,
And
that's
32.
look, I said it. I did it.
75:31, 32.
Zakir Sumila, Tuba Nuzbillah, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah.
75, 31, 32.
So he accepted not the truth nor prayed, but denied. 75 is
Yeah, that's it.
You're right,
That's
you're
it.
right.
You're right.
Yeah, but denied and
Turn
turned
back.
back.
There you go. Look, there it is.
Yeah.
So what is the word for? They got there for prayed.
Salah, sadaqal wa salat
Salah.
wa salah.
That's the simplest form of the word
Prayer. Salah.
they're saying for prayer.
Yeah.
Salah. Salah. You see?
Salah.
Salah. You see? The opposite of salah is tawalla. Turn back.
Turn back.
Yeah.
Walakin
Turn back.
watawalla. Yeah.
So one is to turn to,
And turn
and
back.
one is to turn back.
Wow, man.
You see? So turning to means to follow, to go behind, to follow something, pursue, go after, being consonant with. You see, so now they use the word sud lam wow. Sud lam wow in the dictionary, and then you'll see another word sud lam ya. You have your dictionary.
Yes.
Now the word sud lam ya means to roast. And why would you say roast? Because you're turning the thing over and over again. So you're turning it to the fire.
Which word you want me to look at?
Yeah,
You see?
Sod, lam, and wow.
that one.
Sod.
Sod, lam, and wow. Yeah.
And he wants to know that ayah say, when you are,
You can speak up because you're on the tape.
chapter 4,
don't you,
1.
don't you think so that this interpretation or
I try not to answer
translation-
questions. I don't answer questions when they ask me, do I think?
Sorry, okay.
Yeah.
So the
My
translation which has been
understanding.
given in the Quran, it's like
Yeah.
prayed. Instead of, see now we have understand this, that
Yeah.
every word has an opposite.
Yeah.
Or every couple has an
Yeah.
opposite. Every pair has some opposite.
Yeah.
Or a pair.
Yeah.
So we understood this with salawat, salah and
Yeah.
watawalla.
Yeah.
But if the same thing if you want to understand in English translation, we cannot.
Yeah.
Where are we looking this
So
up?
don't
Sud
I
lam
don't
wow.
I think so that people has taken
Sword.
Lam
Sod,
wow.
lam,
Yeah.
wow.
So
I
it
think
should
so
be
that
right
people
here?
has this taken this prayed word or prayer word in a different
Now,
way.
what happens is because the people have been programmed with the Arab religion, you see.
Okay.
And so, therefore, in order to make Islam a religion, they have to use religious words.
Religious words. Oh.
And if Islam is not a religion, then there can be no religious words.
Definitely like prayer or something.
Right.
Meditation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Prayer. Believe. These are religious. That's why the word salah is not prayer. That's why iman is not believe. It's trust. That's why ibadah is not worship. It's service. You see?
Oh man, so the real meaning has been hidden.
Yeah,
has been
right.
hidden by our
Right.
people.
Right. The Christians are telling you we're having service stars at so and so and so. They know the term. It's not worship. Service. You're gonna serve somebody. You see? You created to serve, not worship. God doesn't need you to worship Him. He doesn't need you to serve Him. You serve for Him. Serve for His purpose. But here's a book called A Challenge to Islam for Reformation by some German scholar. But I'll show you what he says here.
Sad lam on wow. And not sad lam yeah. Put in the small of the center of the back bend.
320.
Salat prayer,
You
supplication,
see it
place
there?
of prayer, place of worship, mosque, blessing, mercy, benediction. In its plural is salawat, musalla, place of a prayer or worship.
Musalla.
He prays, praying, send blessing and benediction and the praise. They send their blessings on lam, yusallu, yusallu. They have not prayed yusallu. Important, they should pray salli. Thou pray sallu.
See, this is what the word has. See, words morph.
Morph,
You
yeah,
see?
it's like
Yeah, they
morphing
change
each
into
other,
different things. Yeah, they
and
change.
it goes changing a different concept, different
Right,
sentence,
right,
different
right.
word,
Different times,
personality.
different places, right.
Yeah.
So the words morph. This is what the word has morphed into now, prayer. But the word started off by being something that connected, like the backbone and all that, and one thing another. But here's a scholar here, a German scholar. Look what he says about the original word meaning of the root sud lam ya. Look what he says. It's a non-Muslim, a German scholar.
Closer analysis of words.
Yeah. Read it out loud a little bit.
Here, actually, that its core meaning is to turn oneself or something towards something.
Look at that.
Most frequently, this root occurs as a verb in the second verbal stem, salla, yusalli, to pray. But etymologically, this root seems to be related to the Indo-Germanic root, ka and la, which is contained in word like Latin ausculter, to incline or turn one's ear towards something. Incliner, to incline, and cultus, cult. In Old Arabic, this basic meaning to turn oneself or something towards ... so something.
Yeah, there's the elliptic.
Yeah.
See? Right.
Is still so much alive that in the most frequent occurrence of this root, namely in the verb salah, to pray, this core meaning to turn towards is often still recognizable. To give only one example, we cite a verse of the famous poet Antara al-Absi, tusalli nahwahu min kulli faghin, Mulkul al-Alwadallaha Imamu. From all ends there are turning themselves towards his direction, the king of the earth, and he is their Imam.
So now
He's their leader.
So see, now the people have not made it that you have to turn towards the Kaaba. You see?
Further he's saying, further he's saying, it becomes clear from such example that the so much common Arabic word salat, lexicographically defined as ritual prayers, means in its true original sense to turn oneself towards something.
Yeah, right.
It must also therefore be the case of the finish.
Yeah, right.
You're
turning towards this Quran.
Salat ka real matlab, the real meaning of the salat is to turn somebody towards something.
Right.
That means towards the guidance.
Right. That's it right there. That's what it is. That's what it is.
That
Follow
is not
closely.
what the ritual
To
salat
follow.
means.
No.
And the opposite of it.
That guy is not Muslim.
He's not Muslim. He's
not
a scholar,
Muslim.
German
Yeah.
scholar. These
He's
boys
not a
think,
Muslim.
yeah. Now the law tells you right there, the opposite of it is to turn back.
Yeah.
The opposite of it, they didn't follow, but they turned back. He said they didn't do salah, but they turned away. Turned away what? They didn't follow, but they turned back. They didn't follow this Quran, but they turned back. You see, and it's used again in 96, chapter 96.
Can you give me the book so I have to write the author name? And can you give me your dictionary, please?
Yeah.
Maybe I can buy this book too.
Yeah, you can buy these books online.
I can buy online?
Online. Go to Amazon.com.
Let me see that.
Let me write the name and the
Oh, I got another one that'll hurt you a little bit here.
This you gave me one. Like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I look the house, the bait. They translate a house.
Yeah, but it's not the, like he just said, he just explained just now. This is like things that morph into something. What you got here?
Then you'll get confused, If you read that, if you go in depth in dictionary, you'll get confused. You'll be nowhere then.
You see this?
You have to go in a particular specification, definition.
Chapter कौन
Like
सा
this
है?
guy.
लाइब्रेरी उसमें जाएगा तो मिलेगा.
Yeah, no, I'll go. I'll see in the index. Like this guy has studied on specific words of Arabic or different languages and all, and then he has written this. So he has studied on sa, la, and wa, and then he has mentioned. Even he has mentioned what the ritual prayers that what Muslim people are doing. Its exact meaning is to turn somebody towards something.
Yeah, right.
So that is what
And we already made it in the Quran that you can't pray to God. You have to speak to the people. The prayer got to be loud. You can't say out. But we already showed that ritual is not what it is. You see, that is the dawah, like what you said. We showed the two ways people said your salah doing something. Now here's another guy. This book here was printed. 1966, first edition.
Which one is that? Can I see?
It's Studies in Islamic Institutions by S.D. Goyington or somebody.
Wait. Studies.
Now this is a non-Muslim as well.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. And now here's what he says.
Okay, have you heard about the book which is written by one of the Christian author? I think it's a Christian or it's a Jewish. 1001 Personality of the World.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah, we're not interested.
He has mentioned Prophet Muhammad on the first place.
Yeah.
And he has mentioned Jesus on the second place.
Right, but then he goes on later on and slam dunk all that mess. Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, that was something that you used to pick at and use that in his lecture. Yeah.
Finally, God Himself is described as praying.
Look at that. God Himself is described as praying. This is what the guy said. This is what kind of foolishness the Muslims are involved in now. Look, God Himself is described as praying.
As praying, yeah.
In the Quran, chapter 33, verse 56.
Yeah, Sallu ala Nabi. Yeah. Didn't Allah say Allah an angel? Sallu ala Nabi.
You can read it out loud so we have it recorded.
Yeah.
The prayers from their Lord are prayer upon them and mercy. Since God is at rest in prayer, it seems strange that He Himself should be engaged in the pious work. Therefore, salat, while referring to God, has been rendered in the modern translation by blessings and similar phrases. This is a misunderstanding of religious psychology. Man has always seen God in his own image. Since prayer is the most significant occupation of the pious, it is unimaginable that God should not pray Himself. The Talmud, that treasure house of Jewish religious folklore, is curious to know even the text of God's prayer. It provides us with a simple example. May my mercy for my Creator be stronger than my... May my mercy for my creatures be stronger than my wrath. The close affinity of the Quranic verse referred to at the beginning of the paragraph with the Talmudic passage is evident. The main object of God's prayer, of course, is the Prophet of Islam. God and His angels pray upon the Prophet. O ye who believe, pray upon him and give him the salutation of peace. On the basis of this verse, whenever the name of Muhammad is mentioned, whether orally or in written or in printed, the eulogy, may God pray upon him or peace be upon him.
Yes.
Pray upon him.
The people say sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Peace be upon him.
Yes, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They think they're saying that because of that verse.
Yeah, and give him the salutation of peace is added. This is absolutely de rigueur. Salutation has the verse just quoted above shows are a kind of prayer of the greeted. Therefore, the Quran and of course also later Muslim sources devoted much attention to his formality.
Formality.
Yeah.
Formality.
Yeah.
So now you see what that book is saying. They're saying that according to, if you translate Salah as prayer, then in the Quran 33:56, Allah is praying. In the Laha wa malaikatu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhalladhina
And we
amanu.
are giving like too much of importance to Prophet Muhammad in
But
terms
the point is that you have to understand now, not to rationalize. Look at 33:56 and see what it's saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. 33:56 and see what it's saying.
Yeah, we have to understand
Because
that.
there's people here saying that if you saying Salah means prayer, then God does prayer also.
Whoa, man.
Allah is doing Salah. So therefore you caught in a bind now.
33:56.
Now you're caught in a bind.
They put bless.
Yeah, of course they're going to put bless.
Surely
But
Allah
it's
and His
salah.
angel bless the Prophet.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is
Yeah.
bless in
You read in
Arabic?
Arabic.
Blessing is barakah, but they got yusalli.
Baraka, yeah.
Yeah.
Salli.
Yeah, they want to put
إن
yusalli.
الله وملائكته وصلوا عليه النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. Surely Allah and His angel bless the Prophet. O ye who believe, call for blessings on him and salute him with a becoming salutation.
Okay, if it's Allah and the angels sit down there and they say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Now everybody we have to say Allahumma. God and angel do to Muhammad. Sallu lana nabi.
And God is also
Yeah, he's an angel. Doesn't make sense.
Directed to him instead of Allah.
Now look what this writer says. Now this is, well, let's look at that. You see, they're saying that yusalli, you see what the writer already showed you.
Yusalli,
Yusalli means to follow closely something, to connect something, you see. But you're saying, and now look, in that verse there, yusalli, we're going to see another verse. Look, the same word is used, another verse in the Quran, but now you use it differently. The same word, look, 33:56, right?
Yeah. Surely, Inna Allaha wa malaikatuhu yusallu alayhi wa nabiyyu yusallu alayhi wa nabi ya ayyuhallazina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima.
वही सल्लु सल्ली मुसल्ली मुसल्ला एक ही रूप वाला सल्ला मुसल्ला.
So it's confusing, you see. That's why people, they might have got
It says
confused.
inna Allaha
Yeah.
wa malaikatuhu yusalluna, that's the word.
Alayhi
Ala nabi
ala nabi
ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. You see? So now they're saying because Allah does that, you and the malaika do that, you should also do it and then salute him with test. And so now the people, when they hear that, they say sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They're thinking Allah saying that also. When Allah hear you say Muhammad, Allah says sallallahu alaihi wasallam. the angel said sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you should say sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everybody's saying sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah and Malaika and all that. Every time you say Muhammad all over the world, Allah says sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Allah's got no time for nothing else.
Yeah.
Because he's busy all day long just saying sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sallallahu, because people are saying Muhammad all over the place. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You see? Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So the whole world is saying
sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Like everybody just sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Come on, man. What's
so
going
these people,
on here?
instead of praying Allah, they are praying to Astaghfirullah.
Yeah.
You can say, it can go in that way, isn't it?
Right. So now.
Whoa, man, Samir. What do you think? What do you think?
Oh yeah.
Look at 1321.
And those who join that which Allah has bidden to be 21 you said.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay.
And those who join that which Allah has bidden to be joined and have awe of their Lord and fear the evil reckoning.
What is the word for join?
Join.
Look at that.
Yusoluna.
Wallazina
Yusalluna. Join. That means to connect something, right? Join. Yusalluna. Join.
No, where is it? No, it's not Yusallun.
What is it?
It's Yasilun.
Well, so this is from the that's from Salawa.
Salawa, yeah. Salawa, yeah.
Yeah, it's from the same verb.
Yes,
You say no, it's just a
But look what this scholar said now about 33, the one you're reading right there. You see the Arabic? Look what he says. How's he translated?
Okay, Allah and His angels pray upon the Prophet.
That's what it says.
Oh, you who believe, pray upon him and
That's what the guy said. That's what the guy said. That's what the guy in the book said, that you got Allah praying. That's what it says. You can't change it. It said blessed. Barakah is blessed. Well, barakatu.
Yeah. It doesn't say barakah.
This is Sully.
Sully, yeah.
Yeah. So now it's a problem for you, so you can dance around that word. You see? You got to dance around that.
So why it is that difficult to understand all these people about this?
Because they've been influenced by the Arabs. They've been taught that by the Arabs. They don't know the Quran. Look at 25:30. Look at 25:30. That's why.
Me, I'm a normal man, but see, I never.
Well, what about the verse?
What are the people you are scholars?
When they do the shirk following the Arabs, man, where Allah seals their hearts and their eyes and stuff like that. So the three things that He speaks about: their eyes, their hearing, and their intellectual. He seals it so that they don't understand, they can't see, they can't.
Jam. It's like
when they do that association, you know.
Look at 25:30. You want to know why they're doing what they do?
Yeah.
There's the answer right there.
Wow, man, this man, he has all answer.
You know, Allah has the
answer.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful.
But he knows everything. Where
your eyes may become covered.
Yeah. 25.
What does it say?
I'm like deaf and dumb. Yeah.
What does it say?
25.
Yeah, 30.
30. And the messenger will say, "My Lord, surely my people treat this Quran as a forsaken thing." Whoa,
As a forsaken thing.
That neglected thing.
Now, what is the word for forsaken thing?
Forsaken is like
What's the Arabic word there? No, what is the Arabic word there?
Hazul Quran al Mahajuran.
Yeah, mahjuna. What word comes from that? What does it sound like? Hijra.
Hijra.
Yeah, that's where you get the word hijra from.
Yeah.
They made hijra from the Quran. The people have made hijra from the Quran. They ran away. They left the Quran. That's what the messenger said. They made hijra, not shifted away.
Quran is a forsaken thing.
They made hijra. They treat the Quran like we forsook the Quran.
Yeah.
And fled. They forsook it and fled.
They get away from the Quran.
Yeah, they got on there. They made hijra.
Whoa.
That's what mahjuran. Mahjuran from the word hijra that comes from that.
Okay, yeah.
You see?
Quran as a forsaken thing.
Right.
In English means
that's what the message said. So that means that has to stand. That can never change now.
Okay.
If it changes, then the people come back to the Quran. That's going to be wrong in the Quran.
So at the end of the world,
The people have left the Quran.
and then Prophet will say definitely yes, my people has.
He's already
gone
said
away
it.
from
Yeah,
me.
he already said that. It's already done happened. The messenger
This was
says.
sure is going to happen.
Yeah, it's happened already. The people, what
They
the
don't
Muslims
know
know about Quran? They don't know nothing about the Quran.
Happened.
If they knew the Quran, they
Just
would be
to
doing
know-
what they're doing.
Just to read it blindly. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Without understanding
yeah. So for some thawab they call it, sawab or whatever they call
Sawab,
it.
yeah.
For,
Reward.
reward. But look what this guy says here. This book here. Now this is some groups of. This is a book with a lot of different scholars
International
writing
Islamic.
papers about topics in Islam. So that was his topic. But look what he says over here.
Another basic pillar of
Salat,
Islam.
does your salat command you that we should give it?
No, but what is his thought right
Another
there?
basic pillar of Islam is Salat, and an idea of its extent will be had from chapter 11, verse 87.
Look at that.
In which his people told Shuaib, does your salat command you that we should give up those whom our ancestor worshipped and cease to do with our wealth as we please? How prominently does this verse bring out the close relationship between salat and economics?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look.
So
Salah
they're joining it with that portion.
Yeah, you're just making Salah some ritual prayer.
Yeah, they're joining
Salah
it towards that
is into your
direction.
economics, about God, and about your belief and all that.
But they're,
And he
joining,
goes on-
they're connecting it with the ritual prayers. Yeah.
Yeah. So they go on to talk about that. Now, here's another piece of literature.
See, so these people, those who are not Muslims, even they know that we Muslims, we don't understand our Quran very well. That's why they studied and they come to know these people are foolish.
Right. The non-Muslims know you
The
don't
non-Muslims,
understand.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah,
they call you. That's why they call you Mohammedans, because you following Muhammad.
Yeah,
Strong
Muhammad,
words.
yes. You know, they're smart. See, they're studying Quran. Why? Because they want to know exactly what Islam says, and they say these people are foolish. They don't know themselves what their Quran is saying.
Of course.
Mostly book written.
That's what they're doing. They want to use that against you. You've been trying to blast them all the time. Now they're coming against you and say, you don't know. What do you know? You don't know nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
Page 76.
76.
No,
No, right here.
I think we have to come one more time for discussing much more about other things like Hajj, Ramzan, and
Yeah, we didn't touch that yet.
Yeah, we haven't touched that yet. We are still on Salah, and there are a lot.
Each of the next four lines contains one or more forms of the root abada, meaning to serve. Now the word ibadah derived from abada in this surah, and the word salah in the preceding two surahs are so inextricably
Okay.
linked in Islam as almost to be synonymous. Salah and ibadah, service.
Serve, yeah.
Service, allegiance, commitment. They
Commitment,
almost
yeah.
mean. Both words are used. They say for worship, both for duties, both for prayers, both for service. You see, these are the words they're giving it. But service and duties, ibadah.
And Salah.
The first ibadah perhaps means all these things in a more general sense, while in the latter, salah is more specific. So they go on to show you that salah is used as duties and service as well, and we know that we see that. So does your salah command you? That's a duty. It command you to do so and so and so and so. This is what this guy just said here. So this is another book that points in that direction. But here's a book you said Harun Yahya, right?
Harun Yahya, Sheikh Harun Yahya. You studied that also?
Well, here's your man right here.
Oh,
He wrote a book on prayer.
prayer in the Quran.
You
yeah.
tell me in there, show me in that book one place where you use the word salah.
No, I have never read this book.
Well,
I'm
if you
studying
read
in a
it,
different sense.
there's no salah in the book.
Not about Quran. I have
There's
not-
no there's no salah in the whole book. It's dua.
It's dua, yeah?
Yeah,
So he has also explained in the proper sense, yeah?
yeah. That book there's no salah in that whole book.
Okay. prayer in the Quran. You see, this guy is amazing.
The whole book.
I studied about
just show me one place in the book where he's talking about salah, ritual salah,
right
rakats and all that.
Yeah, rakats and all that. Yeah.
There's not one place in the whole book. And the whole book is on salah.
Wow.
If you go in his site, you will find many things. He studied Islam with science, with history, with geography, with biology. I don't know what.
I mean, he's got a lot of crazy stuff out there.
Yeah, he's got a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah. He got some nice videos and all.
But that particular thing there, at least he got that straight.
Muhammadur Rasulullah. It's like his stand.
Yeah. So now, you kind of set on that salah, because this salah subject can be big and broad. We can go a long ways with that.
He want to know about chapter 4, 101. He asked me this one. What is this about?
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
But unless you want to go more here, I don't know.
No, we got enough there. But I'm saying, what are you?
Chapter 4, 101.
See, here's what we said. Chapter 4, verse 101. What could it be about? Could it be about ritual praying now? That's what you have to ask. That's what you have to now eliminate.
Yes.
See, now you have the process of elimination.
Yes.
See, now you can know what salah cannot be. If you don't know what salah is for sure, you know what it's not.
Yeah, definitely.
You see, you know it's not a ritual prayer where you stand and recite the Quran to God. You see?
No, but I can understand now. Like
that's clear.
If salah is already eliminated the way the concept was before, now I can understand here why I was not understanding. Like it was mentioned, and when your journey in the earth, there is no blame on you if you shorten the prayer. If you fear that those who disbelieve will give you trouble, surely the disbelievers are an open enemy to you. You understand?
One or two.
One or two. And when thou art among them and leadest the prayer for them, let a party of them stand up with thee, and then let them. This is here, it's clear. Like we are sitting over here. At that time, those people cannot sit like this freely to discuss about Iman or to give dawah or to teach about Quran.
Exactly.
So at that time, it is mentioned over there that if you are on jihad or if you are people, you are scared that they can come and attack on you.
You have to teach this Quran still.
Yeah, so make sure that few people stand outside with their arms and ammunition and you come discuss. And those who are absent, then they come inside and you go and now I understand that.
I like your comment,
I
like your cousin, man.
Look at this here. It says, and when they have performed their sujood, you see? Now, let's look at this verse right here real quick.
Yeah.
This is a good verse. 22:18.
Look now, there.
Because at that time prayer was in my mind, it was like the same prayer. The
Yeah,
concept
that's
was not
why.
clear. Now the concept is clear. Clear.
Judo.
22:18.
Yeah. 22:18.
See thou not that to Allah makes submission, whoever is the heaven and whoever is in the heaven and whoever is in the earth, and the sun and the moon and the stars and the mountain and the trees and the animals and many of people, and many there are to whom testaments is due, and he whom Allah's abases, none can give him honor. Surely Allah does what He pleases.
Now, look at that verse. Look what is being said.
Yes, you do.
The first point that you have to look at right there in that verse is where it says, Alam Tara.
Alam Tara, yeah.
See it that. That means you can see this with your eyes. This subject, you can see it with your eyes. Allah said, don't you see it? With your eyes, you see it. For example, I'm going to show you another place right over here. 24. Look, before we go back there, look. 24, 41.
41.
इब्राहिम ने क्या करा काम बेच लेना 4 घंटे
Okay. See thou not the Allah, He is whom do glorify all those who are in the heaven and the earth, and the birds with wings outspread. Each one knows its prayer and its glorification, and Allah is knower of what they do.
So that look how's it start off? Alam Torah.
Yes.
See it thou not. So that means you have to be able to see that. Now look at 43. Verse 43.
See thou not that Allah drives along the clouds, Alam Tara again.
Right.
Then gathers them together, then pile them up, so that thou see the rain coming forth from their midst.
You see that happening, right?
Yeah,
Don't you see the clouds moving and you see the
These
rain
are the
coming
signs,
down?
signs, yeah.
Alam Torah. You
Signs.
see? So you see that.
Can't
You
you
see
see
all
with
of
your
this.
own eyes, yeah.
Now go back to our verse at 22:18 and you have to see this too.
See, there is now that to Allah makes submission whoever is in the heaven.
Sajada. You see that.
Yeah.
Whoever's in the heaven and the earth, you see that being done.
Yes, you do, yeah.
Right, you see that. You see, in the heavens and the earth. And the sun and the moon, you see them making sajda. You see? And the stars, you see that too. It's not a vision, you see it.
Even the
Look,
bird.
and the mountains, you see them making, you see mountains making sajda?
Namaz.
But your law said they make sajda, and you see them.
You
see them.
Yeah.
Look, and the trees, and the animals, and what? Many of the people, not all of them. Look,
Many of the people.
not all of them.
Yeah.
Because some people refuse to. Look at that.
It's mentioned already.
This is some
there.
heavy stuff here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's very heavy
So
stuff.
now you don't have no problem with sajda no more. Because the law says you see that everything that in creation is doing that.
They've been
The
performing-
only one that doesn't do it is some people.
They're performing their own.
They have
duties.
they have a limited free will. Nothing else has the will to disobey, so they have to do the sajda. And you see it. Only man has free will, so some of them won't do it. Meaning obey Allah's laws. That's what it means.
Mean to
Obey
bow
the
down,
laws.
right? To bow down.
Not bow down physically, obey the laws. There's the mountain don't bow down to it.
No, I know. Not
Yeah,
physical.
but the mountain doesn't get up and walk away.
No.
They are firm on their duty. What has God has been appointed for them.
Right, they do what they're supposed to.
God says you
they
are
keep their
supposed to be
fit
over
on.
here.
Right.
They're
You are supposed to be fit on this place, and you
Right.
should not move.
Right.
So they are performing their duty.
Right, the mountains keep the earth from wobbling out of shape. That's what mountains are pegs, stabilizing. You see, like you tie down a tent.
That's
And
why
we
I
are
have
not
to see
performing
them.
our
Yeah,
duties and
right.
responsibility. That's why we are shaken. Not
Right.
many of them.
You see,
No, many of them, or few of them. What is it? Many of the people, animals, and many of the people.
yeah, yeah, not all of them.
Not all of them. There you go.
So that takes care of the
Then
salah
again,
there.
there is again a hit here. It's a big hit, man.
No question, huh?
No question.
No question, huh?
My tongue is zipped now.
So now maybe the same thing applies to the word Hajj.
Hajj, yeah.
Yeah, maybe, but we have to discuss. I want to know if you need.
Yeah, you can-
Maybe we can have one
listen,
more
look
meeting.
At Hajj. Look at
Look
Hajj
at
right
that,
here.
look
Look at it
at
real quick right here.
We're gonna go shortcut. Yeah. Where?
Real quick.
You said sure.
Look,
No,
look, 22:27.
Why shortcut?
This is real
Yeah,
quick.
why
Look,
shortcut?
look how
Very
this
nice.
is real quick and sweet.
No.
Yeah.
And proclaim to man the pilgrimage. There you go. They will come to thee on foot and on every lean camel coming from every remote path. Man, this is something which is interesting.
No, plainly going.
Now, what is this saying?
It's exactly what is there in my mind, what I was thinking, the same concept. You have to clear me up.
Huh?
You have to clear his mind.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
No came on a plane.
Good.
He is
now-
saying like
Chapter
everything which is going on
183.
nowadays. At that day, people used to come on camel,
22.
walking, and coming on for
But what people,
pilgrimage.
the believers?
Yeah,
Where's their believers?
22. 2 and
22
Yeah,
verse
where's the
27.
believers?
Yeah, idhar.
22 के
22, 27.
करो.
Yeah.
Says proclaim to the
And proclaim to man the pilgrimage.
people.
Yeah. What men?
It's like
That's
وَإِذَنْ
people.
فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ.
Yeah, that's people. That ain't no Muslims, the believers. That's anybody.
mankind. Yeah, Nas.
That's
only
people.
called. Nas.
To man the pilgrimage.
What
The
you say?
people. Yeah.
In Arabic,
Yeah.
Nas.
Arabic is وَإِذْنِ فِي النَّاسِ
Yeah,
بِالْحَجِّ.
Nas.
Nas.
That's the
النَّاسِ
people.
بِالْحَجِّ.
Right.
Yeah, that's Nas.
Nas. Every mankind.
That's the people. That's not believers. It didn't say proclaim to the believers.
There is Amanu doesn't say.
It didn't
Right?
say proclaim to the Yahudi to the Monafics, to the Akal Kitab, it says to Nas.
What kind of pilgrimage it is?
That's not the issue. First of all, the issue. let's get one thing first. You see,
Yeah.
first of all, it's for anybody to come.
Any man, any human being.
Any human being can come. So how come they stop the people from coming?
They stop. They have Hindu people. They don't allow them to come inside.
Yeah, only people
the
that
Muslims.
you got to take the Arab
No, you have to
shahada.
have Arab
Shahada,
shahada,
Allah,
you have to have
Shahada,
your
Rasulullah.
passport stamp.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now all I got to do is ask the scholar in the sheikh. I said, excuse me, that was a declaration by Abraham, right? He was way back there in the ancient days for all the people. I said, excuse me, did Moses go to make the Hajj?
No.
Any place on earth, any record of Moses going making Hajj?
No.
What about Jesus?
No.
No one is
Well, how come that wasn't for them?
For every Muslim, it should
So
be
how
done,
come
yeah.
Moses and Jesus didn't do it?
And others also, right?
Huh?
And others. You know
Yeah,
that
and
all
others.
that,
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
Yaqub
Whoever come with
but
an
we're saying,
award,
but we're saying Moses and Jesus are big guns.
Yeah.
Big guns, yeah.
Yeah. They should have went over there and made
Let's
the
start
Hajj.
with the
That was
guns
right.
first.
It was Abraham was right there with them. That's their man.
Yeah.
The first year that there was message, they should have said, well, let's go make the Hajj right away. Because they the people can do it.
He went there, Hajj.
Yeah, right
Yeah,
there.
it's no problem.
Yeah.
He went on could be
Yeah,
again.
You have also been?
No, I mean.
yeah. I went to
No,
Hajj.
I'm
I went in 1970.
Yeah.
I've been
He
recently, last year.
Yeah, he went to Hajj.
Oh, how many 5-star hotels you saw?
Only one.
Oh,
where I was
Hajj
staying.
सच्ची
Yeah.
बात करना
I was stayed whole day inside the
Oh,
haram.
okay.
हम topic बदल दिया
But the point is, it says, I'm saying, did Abraham and Jesus, I mean, did Moses and Jesus go to make Hajj with their people, with their followers?
The way it was commanded.
You see? Otherwise, how come they disobeyed this order.
That's a question.
Well, why wouldn't they say, I mean, okay, maybe Moses didn't, and then Jesus said, well, I got to go make Hajj. You know, I got to go make Hajj. I mean, you know, how old, were they old enough to make Hajj? Moses was old enough, wasn't he? He had a couple of wives, I think. Wasn't he old enough to go make Hajj? Well, he was right over in that area. We traveling all the way across the world to go over there, and they right there. They were right over in that neighborhood. They could have went on and made the Hajj. So I'm saying, therefore, there's got to be something. First of all, it's for all the people to come, and so therefore we know it's all the people because the law said their salah at the house is just whistling and clapping hands.
Yeah, we did that.
So people are making salah at the house,
8:35.
and they're
Yeah.
whistling and clapping hands. So right away, to me, now, what it says in 41:43.
What, 40?
41, 42.
41:43.
If we have made the Quran upon 43. Naught is said to them but what was said to the messengers before. Surely the Lord, thy Lord, is the Lord of the forgiveness and the Lord of the painful
Look at that.
retribution.
Nothing is said to you that wasn't said to the people before you. So if you were told to make Hajj, they were told to make Hajj too.
Definitely.
Huh? And to make it the same way you make it. How do we know? Because look at 46:9.
46 now.
Say, I am not the first of the messengers. I know not what will be done with me or with you. I follow naught but that which is revealed to me, and I am but a plain warner.
You see that? It says, I'm not a what messenger? What's the word for first?
First messenger, yeah.
What is the word there?
Kulma kuntu
Kuntum
bid'ah.
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 I'm not a bid'ah. I'm not bid'ah. I'm not an innovator. I ain't got nothing new. I didn't bring nothing new. I'm not a messenger bringing nothing new. Whatever I'm doing, everybody else was doing the same thing. The salah, the this, the that, everything. They were already doing it. I'm not a bid'ah. I don't have bid'ah.
I don't bring something new.
Yeah, I'm not a messenger with bid'ah. That's what it says right there.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, then everybody should be doing the same. He's not doing nothing that said to you that wasn't said to them. You're not doing nothing that they weren't told to do. You see? The only thing they were forbidden to do certain things, like certain things that the Jews had for their laws or certain niceties, but the basic structure of the deen, of the belief in God and the submission to Him, everybody did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They said we were already Muslims.
Definitely.
You see? We were already making salah. Does your salah command so and so and so? You see? And if Abraham was doing Hajj, everybody else had to do Hajj.
Mm-hmm.
You see? If Abraham was in Mecca at the Kaaba, people was coming through there all the time, right? They should say, "Excuse me, what's your name?" He says, "My name is Abraham, and I'm a messenger from God, a messenger. You should have only one God." Boom. You warn the people. But they said that no warner had been there before.
Mm-hmm.
So Abraham was there and said, "I'm not going to warn the people nothing." You see? They said, "Excuse me, what are you cleaning out this house and throwing away these idols and stuff?" He said, "Don't speak to me. Point to the babe. Point to somewhere." He's not going to tell them that you shouldn't have these idols and these statues and all that. Warn them. So it said sent to people who no warner came before. I mean, Abraham couldn't have been there doing that. Otherwise, he'd have to warn the people.
Definitely. He has never been over there, that means.
Yeah.
Evidently, otherwise there was a warner there. Right there at the Kaaba. Right there where the people are. And that was supposed to have been a place where everybody came through at that place there and had their idols and all that stuff, and they came congregated there for whatever reason they did. It was like a place of meeting.
Mm-hmm.
It was a meeting place. That's the clubhouse. That's what it was. It was the clubhouse.
Meeting place, yeah.
Yeah, it was the clubhouse. Going down to the club.
People are going and enjoying, staying over there, making picnic, yeah?
The Arabs go hang out at the club. They'll meet me at the spot.
Yeah.
काबा किसने बना क्या लोग बोलते इब्राहिम अलैहिस्सलाम ने बांधा है वो बोल रहा है
क्या करने का वो बांधा बोला नहीं
पूछो आप you पूछो आप पूछो you ask.
So
He's asking a question.
The Kaaba for what about the Kaaba is there?
What reason that Kaaba has been built?
Huh?
And
For what reason?
And to throw stone.
Who knows what it was? We don't know what it was built for. It was been there for all the time. It was a place of idolatry. It was a pagan place.
Pagan, yeah.
It was a pagan place for pagans were there. All idols and all kind of foolishness was there.
Throw the stones.
Yeah.
That's at the Jebel.
Jabal Nur.
Yeah, someplace down and marching towards some place on the Hajj, where you stone the shaitan, the small shaitan, the big shaitan, and all that mess. But that's just some more foolishness. They claim when Abraham was going to sacrifice his son, the devil was tempting him and all that kind of business. The Quran doesn't support any of that, so we don't know what that is. That's just some stuff that they got made up on the side.
So what was the purpose then? Those who can make the trip.
This was a place. This was a place for people to come and congregate, and congregate and share their ideologies. They come. That's what the UN for. What is the UN United Nations for over there? United Nations is the same thing like a Kaaba, like making Hajj. All the big dignitaries and stuff come here and they sit and they talk about what they can do for humanity, for world peace, for sickness. What inventions do we, how we can help humanity.
For poverty in
Everybody
Africa,
come and get their speak and represent their country, and they come and they sit down and they eat and they drink and laugh and boom, and then they go back to their countries.
So that's
what the same thing.
So is
they got that
this
concept
required?
right there.
Is it required?
Required for what?
To go congregate.
Go where?
To
It ain't required for you to go to Mecca.
It's not a specific place, correct?
No. That was for those people. It said the people will come to you. Announce that to men. So that was for any man.
Yeah.
But they made that. Nobody got to go to Mecca now. They come over here.
They do here.
They come over here to the United Nations now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they come. That's where the people come. They don't go to
Everybody,
Mecca.
all nation come.
Yeah, everybody come here.
They all
Like what they're
here.
saying here. They come there.
Yeah.
They
That's
don't
the
go
house.
to Nas, yeah.
Yeah, that's the house over there.
So there is no specification of in Kaaba. They say there is a stone called what is that?
Like Hazrat Aswan.
Sangyaswa. Then people are like fighting and beating each other. Women are dashing and this and that to kiss that stone.
You see any of
And
that
few
in the
people are
Quran?
crying and they are sleeping
any of
on
that in the Quran?
I was seeing with my eyes.
Have you seen that in the Quran? Well, then you can throw that in the garbage where it belongs.
Then Maqam Ibrahim, they are just like hugging.
You throw it in the garbage. If it's not in the Quran, any doctrine and dictates and all that that's not specified in the Quran as a practice for Deen of Islam, throw it in the garbage.
Tales of the ancients.
Throw it in the garbage. Like somebody called me this morning. One of my friends called me. His son, the teenage son, called me. The mother and father and everybody's arguing, and he says, "Excuse me, Brother Hamza. Said my mother stepped on her glasses and broke them. What should she say? Mashallah, inshallah, mashallah. What should she say?"
Alhamdulillah.
I said she should say, "Oh shit."
What?
Oh shit.
I said,
I'd have said it.
I said, there ain't nobody told you what to say about that. What would you normally say? Oh shit. That's what you say. See? There ain't no religious nothing to say.
Question is that.
He couldn't believe it. He fell out laughing.
No. He couldn't believe you said that. Look.
Yeah.
How about
I'm just saying.
fasting ka pushna hai?
No, but I'm saying.
Is that?
But that's what that was some
fasting he has
foolishness. They
explained.
just arguing over that.
Fasting is
one-
service.
You know, what should you say? Mashallah,
Yes, he
inshallah.
He explained fasting is what exactly. Yes.
Name.
Fasting is like
Abstaining from what
He's
Allah,
saying,
you know,
put
from
your
what you're
business
not
on.
Let's look at fasting right there in chapter 2, verse 183.
इसको नहीं पूछे थे।
Real quick.
ये बात की ना.
नहीं किया
I mean, just a global concept of fasting. 2183.
Yeah. Those 2183.
Yeah. Fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you. What was the purpose? For taqwa. Observance of duty.
Okay.
So that's observance of your duty. And I'm using the word fasting, siyam, in English as abstention. Abstention. That's an English word. I would prefer to translate siyam as abstention.
Abstention.
Yeah. And you abstain from what? From doing the wrong thing and do the right thing. And that's for the purpose of observance of your duty. Now, why would I say that? Well, if I look in chapter 2, verse 21, what does it say? Chapter 2, verse 21.
Oh man, serve your Lord. Keep your duty to your Lord. Serve your Lord who created you and those before you so that you may guard against evil.
Right.
So that you may
Chapter?
receive tough. 221 right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. O men, serve your Lord who created you and those before you, so that you may guard against evil.
Yeah, look at that.
لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ.
Taqwa.
Yeah.
Taqwa.
Serve your Lord who created you and those before you. You see? And what is the purpose of serving ibadah?
To guard against evil.
For taqwa. The same purpose of fasting. The same purpose of fasting. Fasting is prescribed for you as prescribed for those before you, so for taqwa. So serve ibadah for taqwa. Siyam for taqwa. Okay, look. 132. Chapter 20, verse 132.
20, right?
Yeah, chapter 20, verse 132.
Keep your salah. Steady and join on your family, right?
Okay.
So that you
And
can receive
enjoining
taqwa.
prayers on the people and steadily adhere to it. We ask not of this sustenance. We provide for thee, and the good end is for the guarding against evil.
Yeah, so that says now, command your people, your family, akhlaka. Akhlaka. That means your family, your household. You see, your household, your family, your personal family members. Command them with salah. And steadily adhere to it. You see, we don't ask you for nothing and all that. We provide you for you and everybody else. And what is the purpose of commanding them for salah?
To guard against evil.
Taqwa.
Taqwa again.
So here we have three things for the same purpose. They got to be tied in together. Ibadah for taqwa. Siyam for taqwa. Salah for taqwa. It's all for the same purpose. They can't be different and separate, distinct things for the same purpose. Otherwise, I can pick and choose one or the other. I said, well, I don't want to do salah. I'll do fasting for taqwa. I'll just fast in Ramadan, that's it. I don't fast no more. That's for taqwa. I got my taqwa and wait until next year. You see?
And get purified
I'm not
myself.
doing all that other stuff. You see, I just got my taqwa from this.
How about it's talking about the black thread and
Yeah, I don't know about black thread and white threads. Here's what I'm saying to you now.
that ayah, you know?
Yeah. Whatever that is, they understood it. You see? And it's in the Quran, whatever it is. But now, if you say fasting in Ramadan, does the Quran tell you what part of Ramadan to start fasting?
No.
Does it tell you what part of Ramadan to stop fasting?
No.
Does it says it's the month in which the Quran was revealed, right?
Yeah.
Ramadan.
Yeah, so when was the Quran revealed? The first of Ramadan?
That is also not mentioned.
Huh?
It's only mentioned it is revealed in the month of Ramadan.
Oh, no. What about Laylatul Qadr?
Laylatul Qadr, yeah. Laylatul Qadr, yeah.
That's a blessed night.
Yeah.
A blessed night.
Blessed night, yeah.
So now the Muslims all over the world,
we are reading in that, you know.
the Muslims all over the world say that night is in the last 10 days. An odd day in the last 10 days.
Yes.
So that means what you doing for the first 20 days then? That ain't got nothing to do with you. If anything, it should only be 10 days.
Qadr is from the last 30 days of Ramadan. It's in the last 10 days.
Right.
What we have been doing for 20 days. Why you have been fast?
Well, you got to fast for 10
Keep it for the 10 days then.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you a question. Logically, intellectually, if I was talking to a Harvard University student body, and I said, excuse me, you know, the Muslims fast during Ramadan so that they can become better Muslims and purify themselves and all that. They said, well, what is that? What kind of fast is that? I said, well, we don't eat nothing, and we don't drink, and we don't have sex during the day. But during the night, we eat and drink and all have sex all we want. So what have I gained during the day? I erase it during the night.
What kind of fast is that?
You see? I gain it during the day, rest of it. And then not only that, that's only for 1 month. The other 11 months, I'm free to do what I please.
Whatever you want.
Yeah. So what's going to protect me for the other 11 months? There's no fasting, no nothing. You just do whatever you want, eat, drink, smoke, boom, boom, whatever you want to do. I'm saying, what kind of fast is that that's going to help me, discipline me, when I only do it in the day and at night I can go back to doing whatever I want?
It doesn't make sense.
So I'm just not eating and drinking and smoking. I said, wow, I can't wait because during that time, wow, it's almost time. Everybody's sitting around, you know, because my mind is not on none of that kind of stuff. It's just when it can be eat. You see? And then you get up in the morning.
And it happens with us many times. Like we keep fast whole day.
Yeah.
And it's like at the time of Maghrib, we have to eat.
Right.
There the salah is going on, we are eating.
We don't care. And not only that, we eat that and then we go back and have another big feast. And not only that, we get mad and want to fight our wife if they didn't get us up for sahur. Astaghfirullah, what time is the sun is up? You didn't wake me up. You know, but you're all mad now because you couldn't eat in the morning. You see? So I'm saying, now, what is that? What is that? And I'm saying, what does that got to do with you? When the command came to fast, right? Who was that command given to? You have to ask yourself. Who was it given to? The people who witnessed that revealing of the Quran? Was it supposed to be done annually? Does the Quran say repeat that over and over annually? Was everybody supposed to do it? The whole of mankind, or was just the people following the messenger? One thing after the other, all those questions have to be brought around that. What does the Quran say? What does the Quran say? I mean, there's a big discussion. We don't have time to go. We can have a time when we discuss fasting.
The pinpoints,
Yeah, we go through the whole thing. You see?
Yeah.
I'm just touching on some basic things to make a hole in the thing.
Definitely.
To show that there can't be that. You see, if you make a hole in it, then boom, your concept collapses, and you have to reconstruct it around something else.
Something else, definitely.
You see, so we knocked the hole in Shahada, we knocked the hole in Salah, we knocked the hole in Hajj. We're knocking a hole right now. We're chipping the hole into fasting, and Zakat only remains left.
Zakat. To serve.
And I said, well, excuse me. Oh, this is easy. How much is this Zakat?
Obligatory.
Yeah, in the Quran. Because it's fully explained. Yeah. I'm saying it's fully explained, detailed, and clear. So it should tell me how much to pay. Can I find it? No place else. The hole is done. I got plenty of other stuff, but that hole is already gone. Right away. Because it didn't tell. They said, well, brother, 2.5%. Well, where in the Quran does it say 2.5%? You made that up? Allah forgot to tell you? Everybody else was doing it too. So Allah forgot to say, zakat is 2.5%.
No, it's not.
You see?
Yeah.
So I said, well, look, excuse me, that maybe that caught you off guard. Look, who's supposed to pay it in the household? The man or the woman or the children or who?
Everybody.
Everybody, the children have to pay zakat?
No, I don't think so.
Well, you said everybody. Everybody means children.
Yeah.
No, the man has to pay who is earning.
Oh, the man, because he's the kawamun, right? He's the
Yeah.
stand-up man. Okay, good. So I said, well, look.
Set him up.
What is that? Which one?
Set him up with the rope. And
Chapter?
Yeah, hold it. Hold it. And 33.
I'm following it.
33.
There you go. 33.
Yeah.
And stay in your houses and display not your beauty, like the displaying of the ignorance of your, and keep up prayer and pay the poor rate and obey Allah and His Messenger. Allah only desire to take away uncleanness from you, O people of the household, and to purify you, and through purifying, and remember that which is recited in your house of the.
That's a different verse.
Yeah, that's the 34. Yeah.
So now, here's the prophet's wives.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them old women, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't got no jobs, widows, you see? And they're told to stay in their houses and not be running up and down the street and all that. Yet they got to pay zakat.
Mm-hmm.
So where they going to get money to pay zakat from? Where they getting the money to pay the zakat?
Whatever which is there in their house, maybe it was earned by.
No.
It's telling to the wives, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's selling to the wife, but like,
Yeah.
wives can pay only what they have in their house.
But where they going to get it from?
Family.
Where they going to get the money
yeah,
from?
definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Where they getting it from? And if you say, well, the prophet gave it to them, well, that's their money. What they got is theirs.
Yeah.
They don't have to spend on nothing.
Definitely.
They don't have to spend money on nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But your fiqh books and all that tell you that it's the man's obligation to pay the zakat for his household.
Yes.
So I'm saying, but meanwhile, we're not interested in the fiqh books. We're saying, where are the wives of the prophet going to get money from to pay zakat if they got to stay in their houses? I can see them say, well, go out and get your job, and when you come from your work, go home. Don't hang around in the club and all that. They're staying in their houses.
Pay the poor. Right?
They don't have the money for zakat. Now, right after that, here's your verse 35 right over there. Ain't mentioned nothing about zakat. It's talking about these same women.
Mm-hmm.
Look, the believing men, the believing women, the submitting women, boom, boom, boom. That's them.
Mm-hmm.
That's them too. There's no zakat there.
Yeah, definitely.
There's no zakat there. Now, I said, well, look, real quick, what about the blind man in 80, chapter 80, verse 3 somewhere? The blind man. What zakat was he about to pay? Chapter 80, verse 3. And started verse 1. He frowned and turned away because the blind man came to him.
And what would make
What will make thee know that he wouldn't pay zakat?
chapter 80 verse?
That's what it says?
1 and 2, 3.
Yeah.
1 through 3.
1 to 3.
He followed and turned away because the blind man came to him.
Mhm.
And what would make thee know that he might purify himself?
What is the word for purify himself?
Arabic में दे.
وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّكُمْ يَزَكَّرُونَ.
Yeah. What word comes? Is that the word where you get zakat from?
Zakat, zaki, yeah.
Yeah. So what is it? How was he? What was that supposed to be doing?
How he can
He's supposed to pay some
purify
money.
himself, a blind man, yeah.
Okay. Well. Okay. I can see now. What about Pharaoh in 79:18?
लिख ना 79.
मेरे को वो वाला चाहिए आपने जो मेरे को सेंटेंस बताया था 79:18 या
Yeah.
जिसके अंदर obligatory zakat ऐसा लिखा हुआ है. The word obligatory is also there in that. I forgot that verse. 79:18.
Mm-hmm.
वो आपने बताया था मेरे को. देखो जरा वो आपके पास है क्या zakat के बारे में.
हम एक बार तेरे को पूछेगा क्या है ये देखा.
पूछता हूँ ना 79
मेरे पे
आपने दिया था मेरे को, देखो होगा आपके पास 79 18 and say with thou purify thyself.
To Pharaoh. That's what Moses is supposed to say to Pharaoh.
हाँ ये आपने पूछा था क्या फिर फिरौन भी ज़कात देता होगा?
Yeah. So Pharaoh got enough money to pay zakat, right?
Yeah.
But
because his zakat will be accepted because he's not Muslim.
Yeah, well, so here's the point.
That's
so,
the point, yeah?
Yeah. No. Okay, good. So
No.
let's assume that's the point.
Yeah.
Let's assume that's the point, right? The Pharaoh is not. Okay, look at chapter 2, verse 43.
याद नहीं मैं करने
243, and then one other place and we'll be finished.
Yeah, I think chapter 2 143. I think.
Oh, yeah.
243.
Yeah. Let me read that, then I'll come to me. And keep up prayer and pay the poor rate and bow down with those who bow down.
Yeah, who's that addressing?
And keep up prayers and pay the poor rate and
who's Allah talking to there?
To the people.
No. To the Jews.
To the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is to the Jews.
Yeah, divine for Israel.
Yeah, start at verse 40. O children of Israel, call to mind my favor to you. You see?
Yeah.
41, and believe in that which I have revealed to you, verifying that which is before you. Verse 40, mix up not truth with falsehood. Verse 43, keep up the salah and pay the zakat.
Okay.
He comes salah while he ties zakat. That's the Jews. That's the Jews. That's the same salah and zakat. Right? So now let's take a look over here at 23, 1 to 11. And let's see what that says about zakat. 23, 1 to 11. Because now we see that the Jews are supposed to do it. The wives of the prophets are supposed to do it. The blind man, he might not zakat. Pharaoh, what about him? Now let's look over here at 21, verse 1 to 11.
Chapter 21?
21 or 23?
23.
23, I'm sorry. 23.
Successful indeed are the believers.
Look at that.
Who are humble in the prayer, and who shun what is vain, and who act for the sake of purity, and who restrain their sexual passion, except in the presence of their mate or those whom their right hand possesses. For such surely are not blamable. But whoever seeks to go beyond that, such are transgressors. And those who are keepers of their trust and their convent, and those who keep a guard on their prayers, these are hearers, who inhabit paradise, therein they will abide.
Look at that. Now, these are the believers. Successful are the believers. Look at verse
1.
4.
4.
Who act for the purpose of what?
Purity.
What is that word there?
وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ أَنِّ الْغَيْبِ هُمْ
Zakat.
يُحْسِنُونَ.
Now look at over. Go back over and look at chapter 2, verse 43. The word zakat there, and see if it's the same word or not.
Chapter 2 verse?
Chapter 2 verse 43.
Huh?
कुछ करते तो नहीं
पैसे
थोड़ा भरे
And keep up prayers and pay the poor rate and bow down with those who bow down.
Okay, look at
What is the word zakat there?
Zakata. Zakata.
That's the same word, right?
Yeah.
So how's it over there? Zakat, and over here purity. So I'm saying is that who act for the sake of purity, is that acting for the sake of money or something? What is it? What is zakat here?
It's purity.
Yeah, purity. So the blind man might purify himself by following the Quran. Pharaoh might purify himself by following the Quran.
Yeah.
Allah says, had it not been for him, none of you would have been pure.
Zakat is purity.
So zakat means to purify. You see?
Keep your duties to Allah pure.
And keep it purely for Him.
Commitment करना ये
Keep your duties pure for the cause of Allah. Don't get into shirk.
Get involved in salah and get purified yourself.
Yeah,
If you're involved in some sort of commitment, you will stay away automatically
From shirk.
the evil.
There you go. There you go.
Like Moses,
It's a connection, but
go
people
to
don't
Pharaoh.
understand
So
that connection.
Pharaoh gonna pay zakat to who?
His mind did think,
You know?
think he's sharp, right?
Yeah, he's sharp when he get it.
Yeah, he's sharp,
I
yeah.
like him.
him,
I
that's
like
right.
him.
He's sharp, yeah.
Yeah. Now, one last verse and we'll close it down for the evening. At 35,
I'm missing that verse where it is written obligatory zakat. I want to
काय के
know-
बारे में था वो
It's
क्या?
about something I forgot, but it's
वो जो
mentioned
पहले-
over there. In the meaning, it's mentioned obligatory zakat.
yeah, that's a
Pay your obligatory zakat.
yeah, that's sadaqah. The word is
Sadaqah,
sadaqah there.
yeah.
Yeah, that's sadaqah. That's not zakat.
Okay, sadaqah, obligatory
Yeah, sadaqah. Yeah, that's sadaqah.
Is it 35?
What you say? Verse
35, 15 to 18.
15 to 18.
O men, it is you that have need of a law, and the law is self-sufficient to praise one. You see?
Yeah.
If he please, he will remove you and bring a new creation.
That's right.
Look at that. If he please, he'll remove you and bring a new creation. You see?
Oh my
And this is not harmful law. This goes back to what we were talking about. Place a successor. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Because if he can remove you and bring a new creation, he could have removed the other creation and brought you. So there's no problem there. So now, and no burden soul can bear another's burden. And if one weighed down by the burden cause another to carry his load, naught of it shall be carried, even though there be a near of kin. Look, here's the point. Thou warnest only those who fear their Lord in secret and ikama salah. You see? And ikama salah. Now, there's no mention about zakat here. And he tags zakat. And whoever purifies himself only for his own good. And to Allah's absolute. What is the word?
Exactly.
Tazaki.
Tazaki, yeah.
Tazaka.
Tazaki, yeah.
Yeah. The same word.
Pure.
Zakat, yeah. Purify himself, yeah.
Yeah.
Zakiya बोलते हैं.
If you purify yourself for your own good. And how you do that? By ikama salah.
Man tazakki fa
Yeah, that's right there. You do that by ikama
कैसा
salah.
pure
मैं तज़क्की
Yeah.
जो अपने आप को प्योर करता है और
वो सलाह करेगा तो pure
whoever
होगा.
purify himself only for his own good.
Yeah.
कैसा सलाह करेगा तब तो प्योर होगा सर.
What is that salah?
भूल गया.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. It's breathing. It's our commitment.
Commitment
Yeah.
है.
It's our
ये
duties
वो
or
सब.
responsibilities,
Turn to-
whatever. Yeah.
Turn to right path.
वो बुक तुझे सब बोलेगा.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
He said,
Thanks
"Thank
a
you
lot
very
for your
much."
time and everything.
So-
Thanks for this.
Well, that's an obligation that we owe to
At
each
least
other.
at least I'm somewhere now.
Yeah. One thing you should learn from this here discussion is that only the Quran is to be followed. That's 6107. Follow that which is real for you from your Lord. There's no God but He. Turn away from the Muslim. Anybody who's not following the Quran by itself and adhering to Allah as the Lord, the only Lord and owner of the universe, is a Muslim.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
See, there's no source that you can get your guidance from that you have to get guidance from other than this Quran. And if it's not in the Quran has all the attributes of perfection. See, full, explained, detailed, and clear.
Definitely.
So there's nothing you can say, well, okay, I need to go out here because this is not explained, this is not clear, one thing after the other. So that becomes some nonsense.
So you got this copy. I want the copy of this, yeah? Make sure.
And the
I
whole
can just
night we've been
upload it
talking
in
for how
laptop,
long? We've been talking for 6 hours or something. We only talk from the
yeah?
Quran.
Quran, definitely. And
You
then
haven't
still,
heard me.
and then
You
still
haven't
it's
heard
not
me.
enough.
You
Yeah.
haven't heard me say anything of my own opinion.
Nothing.
If I'm mistaken, it's because of my understanding,
Yeah.
and the understanding is based on the Quran and the ayahs. There's 3 things I keep in mind in understanding Scripture. That is what the text actually says, what the Scripture, the text actually says, that maybe, and what I understand the text to say, and the possibility that my understanding could be wrong. You see, this is what the Scripture says, what I understand it to say, and is it possible that my understanding is wrong? The last one applies. What my understanding might be wrong, but I give you what I understand it to say, and there's the verses, and you can look.
Definitely. You can
You
understand
can look.
yourself. Yeah.
Right. And if anybody who sees or hears anything that I've said here, sees that I'm wrong, they're welcome to call me out in public and challenge me on this issue.
Okay.
In public. with video cameras running, because I have nothing in secret to say. And it's not me. I'm just quoting the Quran. I don't have nothing. I'm nobody worthy of nothing.
Definitely.
It's just the Quran. You see?
Perfect.
Case closed.